everybody, happy Thursday. Good morning. You join us here for some on-air flying. We're going to be using some helis today. Low-level flying with some missions over Italy. Yes, we're going to see what it's all about. Chopper pilots, we're in the Hughes 500C. This one from Taog's Hangar. It is one of the finest helicopter add-ons in the sim as we eagerly await the release of the upcoming Dauphin. But this is a superb helicopter to kind of get started with. And when I was away in New Zealand, there's lots of these, tons of them. So yeah, they just look cool and dangerous at the same time. So we're on the ground here at Rome's Ciampino airport, and well, we'll load up OnAir and see what sort of missions it can give us. There might be just some, you know, ferry flights. There could be some search and rescue. We're flying with a livery. It's a default livery that comes with the chopper, and it was for kind of like the Italian kind of park ranger forestry thing. They actually kind of closed it off in 2016, but a lot of the other kind of regions still operate this. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We're going to be checking it out. Cool and dangerous indeed. Hope you're all keeping well, as we do on our daytime streams. If you have any questions relating to Microsoft Flight Sim or indeed X-Plane or anything that is part of the whole kind of ecosystem, well, don't be shy. Ask the questions. I'll bluff it, you know, unless of course I know the answer, and even then I'll probably still bluff it, you know. But it'll be all fun and games. Hope you're keeping well, and we're also going to be doing some VATSIM planning for this evening's flight as we're flying up in Scandinavia. That should be fun, right? And we're going to be taking the A320 out for a hop, and Brønnøysund, whatever that place is called, very short runway. Yeah, right. It's going to be grand. I'm joined here by Kat. Hello, Kat. She just be kind of during the day. She, you know, she hangs around here for the company until such a stage she's like, this Egypt, and she moves on, which doesn't last terribly long, to be honest. So yes, it's going to be a busy one today. And well, 10 degrees in Tipperary. It's cloudy. I'm waiting for the rain. There's been loads of dust around the place. It's like them old kind of Sahara dust things in Ireland over the last few days. We've had glorious sunshine, but today it's back to its kind of usual, you know. But that won't stop what we're trying to do. Stay indoors longer, you know. But Sim Update 5, no news yet. Some people think today, could be next week, but some people think today. So that could be interesting when we try to go flying tonight. Sim Update 5 and all the jazz. But yeah, helicopter flying in Microsoft Flight Sim, especially in Flight Sim 2024, the way the scenery is, there's just way more detail going on. And what is exciting, Sim Update 5 is going to bring with it additional helicopter physics when it comes to kind of ground effect, upwash, downwash, all this kind of stuff. So very much looking forward to that as well. They are not the easiest of aircraft to learn. You know, you want to jump in and next thing they'll try and kill you, but very satisfying when you kind of start getting an idea of how they work and how they operate. It's just an amazing way to go explore in the sim. You know, will Sim Update 5 also be for the PlayStation? Yes, it will. It absolutely will. So with Sim Update 5, apart from, you know, a platform update to Microsoft Flight Simulator, it'll see the inclusion of the marketplace and also VR for PlayStation, and for everyone else on Xbox and PC. Well, we're just waiting for a lot more fixes, more efficiencies, more stability, and maybe one or two extra features get thrown in there as well. As you know, we know that we have the aircraft and avionics update. That's due to roll out, and they're targeting a handful of aircraft with that. They've also expanded on the weather radar system, which should be pretty cool. So they're kind of new features, if you like. And then a lot of them are going to be bug fixes. Should be good news for VR as well. So fingers crossed, you know, it comes out sooner rather than later. I'm mad to see what it's going to be like, do you know? But who's here this morning? Look, Commander Balosh, you're very welcome aboard. 150 streams in a row, buddy. What an absolute legend. Thank you very much indeed. Cribinator, good morning. 'Tis cheesy music, as you know me. Quacka, very good day to you. Hope you're well. The Impossible Face, welcome aboard. Cribinator crashed an MD-11 yesterday. Ah, Jesus. It'd be grand. Chalks, top of the morning to you. The Boise is in the house. He's doing the work lurk. Very welcome aboard. Sir Camsalot, good morning to you, my dude. Hope all is well. Crafty Tigers is here, good morning. Spitfire RF 100 is here in the chat. Top of the morning to you, sir. Hope you're well. North Coast Mike, welcome aboard. Rob MCR, great to see you, buddy. Hayden is here. Good morning, Hayden. How's she cutting, man? Hope you're well. Hayden, do you sleep at all? you know, do you get like maybe 10 or 15 minutes? But welcome in. Eamon 1973. Good morning, Eamon. Hope all is well. Up in Newcastle. There's a flying PC-12. Hovering like a helicopter. I'll have to fix model matching. But yes, Airwolf, top of the morning to you. Hope all is going well. Zith is here. How did that copyright get on the television? Right, brilliant. Pie Man Jim, good morning. Chox is here, cool and dangerous. I'm in. Yes, that's what it's all about. Just Roy is here. Good morning, Roy. Hope you're keeping very well. Norse Viking Gaming, top of the morning to you. Max, welcome in. Idle Cutoff, Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Hope all is well. The black car does look like it's done the Darker Rally. Wait, what? Black car? Oh, the Dakar Rally. Yes. And now I have you. Yeah, mine's filthy. I've a Skoda and it is like covered in dust. We've no idea why. Mac Vision, hope you're well, buddy. Filthy is in the house. Platy Trying Flying is here. That's the aluminium cloud seeding dust. Is that what it is? Welcome in anyway. Where is this now? The Limbics, top of the evening. Limbics, what time is it in your parish? It's like 10 o'clock, is it? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Semantic Warrior is in the house. Black Macdeath is here. Good to see you. Now, let me see. Imaginitis, good evening. Hope all is well. Dougal McTavish, the chairman, has rambled aboard. Dougal, a very happy Thursday to you. DCS Dux is here. Dux, good to see you, buddy. And many thanks for your email last night. I'm in Aegis and, you know, I need help from wonderful community members like yourself to keep me on track. Jesus. I'd break a mother's heart. Not even my own. I'd break everyone's mother's hearts. Everyone's mother's heart. There, that makes more sense. The Impossible Face says, speaking of model matching, did you see the amazing flying van that made an appearance on Kenko streams? Yes. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You do indeed, yeah. 10 p.m. says the Limbics. Jesus. I was sure, listen, she'd be grand. It'll absolutely be grand. We're live over on the tube, and a very warm welcome in to our folks over there. Dave Cleary, legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Joe O'Reilly, hope you're well. Wouldn't get into a heli, they're death traps. It's going to be a miserable day today. You're in Limerick. Jesus. Just want to get liveries on PS5? Yeah. There's a new add-on coming out for airline liveries, but it's for AI traffic. We had a look at it last night on the news. But yeah, liveries are just a thing at the moment on PlayStation. But because that's a different marketplace environment, you wouldn't know how to manage it, you know. Rich Gillen is here. Good morning. 2 o'clock in the morning with Rich Gillen. Jesus, I need to fix this. Every time I move my mouse and it doesn't find the screen, it kind of freaks out, you know. Europe is being covered in Sahara dust blown over the atmosphere. I was thinking that, Dougal. Yeah, it has ended up in my car. I need to learn how to fly choppers, says I'm Pierce. Well, we'll do a bit of that today. If anyone has any questions when it comes to flying helicopters, one thing I will say, a huge help is going to be the controls that you have. Ideally, you have a HOTAS system. HOTAS, H-O-T-S, it stands for hands on throttle and stick. That's what a HOTAS is. And so ideally, you want a joystick and a throttle. Now, you can go more fancy. You can throw a collective in there as well. I have a collective. I've nowhere to mount the shagging thing. I can't get it onto my chair. So, yeah, I need to figure out what that one is going to be all about. Gar Gaming, good morning. Hello to all in County Galway. I hope you're well, buddy. And Max says, I hope PS5 graphics up to high and not just medium. I don't think there's an awful lot they can do when it comes to the graphics. They certainly have ways that they can enhance it based on the core engine of the sim and how it runs, and a lot of that kind of can tip over to Xbox and to PlayStation. So their hope would be, you know, stability first and then crank it up from there. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I have a Thrustmaster Warthog. Yeah, you're laughing, Pierce. Yeah, laughing. Apache is here. Good to see you, buddy. 155 streams in a row. Cheers, buddy. You're very kind. Dougal says, have you seen the runway for VATSIM flight tonight? Dougal, is it even a runway? It's tiny. Teeny tiny runway. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Crotty is here. Good morning. Lurking while working. Very good. Could be working while lurking. But you're very welcome in, buddy. And yeah, tonight's VATSIM flight is going to be a challenge. I'm taking the A320 against my better judgment, only because I'm loving the wind control hardware. It adds such a different layer when it comes to your flying, is the peripherals. Or are the peripherals. And you might be saying, I'm telling you, the difference that you get in your experience from flying flight simulators, when you're able to transition into kind of more functional hardware, be it, you know, yokes or joysticks, rudder pedals, button boxes, all this kind of stuff. It makes such a difference, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Mr. Two-Tone is in the chat. Look at my cat. Our cat has joined us. Hello, cat. She doesn't, you know, she'll be here for a while until she says, "Human too loud, I leave," which won't take long. But Mr. Two-Tone doing the work lurk as well. Good to see you, missus. And I've done all my chores, right? You know, even had me lunch. I had the lunch this morning, so we're kind of getting a good run of the day, you know. But Dougal's going to take the 319. I haven't configured the 319. You know, I'll take the A320. Sure, listen, either that or we completely change it up and we go with a 7.3 because we can use the performance or short, you know, the packages that come with it. But no, I'll probably just go with the A320. Sure, we'll see what happens. If I go off listen, I do stupid stuff all the time. I don't really mind, you know. I mean, me image, I don't really mind, you know. It's grand. Take no passengers then. No, should they be having the crack? But I know what you're saying. Yeah, it'll be maximum auto brake, and like we will want to hit the runway as soon as possible. Full reversers and full brakes. It's going to be a bit of crack, and it's night time. And it could be snowing. So yeah, it's going to be great. Flaps 3, you'll be fine, says the boysy. Sure. But yes, greetings to the fur baby. Indeed. Mr. Two-Tone, chores, yes, I'm sure you did. I did, it was very good. You know, the cat's in a total chilled out zone, look. But yeah, Kitty's sitting as well taken care of. The kitty is well taken care of. You know, she doesn't know she's a cat. You know, she thinks she's a human. And, you know, we just do things because she's a cat. Brilliant. But anyway, yes, it's all go. So what I want to do, I'm going to try and fix up some model matching here now as well. Also, you may have seen the announcement from Say Intentions last night that they have released the new add-on experience, which showcases and highlights 3 brand new features, which is pretty awesome. And we'll show you the gadget here now, what the announcement was, because to existing subscribers, well, you're getting a free trial of it. It runs for the next kind of 10 days or so, up until the 10th of May. And if it's stuff that you like, you've the option to upgrade, or if it's something you don't think you'll need, you continue on exactly as is. It's pretty cool, right? Thinks she where's this now? Thinks she needs a bright pink cushion. I don't think she would. No, you don't mind them at all now, Kat. You hear me? Yeah. You just stay there now. She has her head wedged under a bit of a shelf here. She's a mad ticket, you know. Your cat looks remarkably like ours. I'll stick a pic in Discord. Ooh, nice. I've 1,600 miles I put on the floor. Wait, what? I have 1,600 I put on the floor with an old ski pole cable tied to it to give extra sensitivity for cub and heli flying. Oh, 1,600 millimeter. Okay, yeah, I'll need to look into that. Maxim, good to see you, buddy. The Thrustmaster one. Yes. I know what you're saying now. Yeah, I need to look at it because I do have a collective. But I just can't mount the shagging thing. It's a Virpil collective, and it's excellent. It's really nice. But yeah, we'll see what the crack is here now. Right, we'll ramble over and get ourselves started. And then see what happens. The cat is very much, the cat is very much just going to kind of hang loose there, right? And we'll see what we're going to do here. So what I want to do, we're going to change up some things. I've lost my mouse again. Right, we're going to change up some things with our model matching. So we're going to go down to graphics. Is it graphics? No, it's online. Multiplayer, and we'll go to high fidelity, and we'll just give it a quick refresh here, and that should load us back in. All tickety-boo. Right. Excellent news. So this is our chariot for today's flight. We're going to be utilizing some OnAir, and I wonder, I'm not sure, with that alpha I was showing you yesterday with OnAir, I'm unsure is that live for flights. So we'll use the existing one. I already have that. Is this not using it? OnAir company. Let's see if this one fires up. Aha, it does. We already had that installed from last night. But anyway, yeah, the news from Say Intentions, right? And some of the features in which they've added. I'll read it out to you here now. So they've been working on something that they're really proud of, introducing the AI expansion pack, the cutting edge of AI in flight simulation. Every subscriber gets a free preview through May 10th, and yours is active now, right? So what it is, Traffic Plus, we had a look at Traffic Plus, and Traffic Plus was basically a way in which you can get traffic injection at airports any time of day. So let's say, for example, you know, you want to do a flight in the middle of the night, and because the real world schedules, well, there's very little night flying at a particular airport, well, Traffic Plus kind of fills in the blanks for you. So that's now going to be part of it. Iris, which is a brand new speech recognition tech, massively improves AI voice recognition, which leads to smarter ATC, good input, meaning good output, as well as significantly improved response times, is part of this new add-on. And then something I think is brilliant as well is the persistent AI memory. That means that your crew and co-pilot will remember conversations between your flights. Now again, it's down as an optional add-on. They're not forcing this out to everyone. They said, look, we've been asked, can we develop further? Yes, we can, but the ecosystem that we operate in is expensive, eye-watering expensive when it comes to all this stuff, because you're dealing with online servers, you're dealing with AT or AI friggin' models and generation, and it's just expensive, right? So rather than kind of going to everyone and saying, right, here's an upgrade path, or, you know, we're now using this as default and everyone has to pay more money, they're doing this as an optional add-on. So for I think for a lot of folks who are happy enough with everything the way it goes, with say intentions, which is brilliant, they'll be happy enough. But for those who do want that extra bit, they want the really kind of bleeding edge side of what's possible, and give it some time, couple of years, a lot of these features will filter down anyway, but it means then folks can grab it. So it is free to existing members right now until the 10th of May, and then after that they'll be charging $5.95 a month. $5.95 a month thereafter, or you can pick it up for $59.50 for the year. You'll save yourself 2 months, I wish my memory was persistent, right? Brilliant. In addition to that, though, it's not all about the pay upcrease when it comes to adding new features. They've also added 25 new cabin crew, co-pilots, all different voices have been added. So the goal was to add about 20 to 25 new characters, if you like. So it's a huge cabin crew members and co-pilot update, massively, and that's been being pushed out. There's no upgrades, there's no restarts, that's just all part of the package, which is great to see. So Say Intentions have been absolutely flat out busy, which is great, absolutely great. Oh my god, then look, there's a cat. There's the Boise's cat. Looks very similar. What do you reckon, cat? Yara, she's not impressed now, she's not impressed, but there we go now. So where we're starting off from, airport identifier is Rome's Ciampino, Lima India Romeo Echo. Lima India Romeo Echo. That's where we're blasting off from. Crowdy says, is it reasonable to assume I won't get a Virpil Collective that I ordered? I was going to buy at 10% discount at the start of April. I decided not to purchase, and when I checked the other day, there was a spring sale with 20%. I then said, take my money. There you go. I don't know. It is reasonable to assume you won't get your Virpil one. I mean, reasonable to wait 4 months. Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, that is the other thing. They are getting better with their lead-in times, is Virpil. But yeah, it's not exactly you can just buy it off the shelf and off you go. You know what I mean? But the gear is very good. I mean, I've used Virpil stuff for years. It's excellent. Excellent stuff, But anyway, here we are with our machine, the Hughes 500C. And as I said, this one is with the Corpo Forestale department, effectively the Department of Forestry, and also they kind of do like park ranger stuff as well. Now officially this has been stood down in Italy. It actually got closed off in 2016 and it was merged with the military. However, they still exist, as in it's the roles and missions of the State Forestry Corps still exists, and it's now part of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Sovereignty and Forests, and there's a name for that. There's a fancy name for this. Where is this now? Administration Forestale delle Custode le Vigilanze delle Boscia, or something like that. And now it's part of the Carabinieri Command of the Forest. So it's over on Wikipedia where we have our information. And there's officers of it. There's the lads, you know. The Italians. A great bunch of lads. And all the different rank markings and stuff here as well. It's pretty cool, isn't it? It's pretty cool. So the State Forestry Corps, basically a national police agency in Italy, and they had a mixed range of powers, acted as a park ranger responsible for protecting Italy's natural resources, the environment, countryside and ecosystems, especially national parks and forests, and also acted as a criminal investigative department and as a typical police force. Its specialist duties include arresting poachers, investigating environmental violations, illegal building, counterfeit foods, safeguarding protected animal species, enforcing endangered species laws, and prevent and fighting wildfires through 15 regional commands with its fleet of 22 firefighting aircraft. It has been responsible for managing activities related to the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species. Do you know? So yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty cool. So this is the machine that we're going to be flying with now today. And as I said, like when it comes to helicopters in the sim, yeah, they'll scare the crap out of you, but incredibly rewarding. And you have a couple of settings if you wanted to make life a little bit easier in terms of, you know, the sim will do a good job at managing a lot of the controls for you if you want. Now, I'd always recommend turning them off because that's the quickest way in which you're going to learn, right? But yeah, overall, this is a beautiful aircraft. This is made by Taog's Hangar. And they make some of the most beautiful helicopters in flight sim, just absolutely gorgeous. And this one, as I said, is it's just an excellent aircraft to learn to fly with. Do you know? So in terms of equipment and what we can see, well, we do have a winch on the bottom, as in a cargo hook. Our skis are fine. We also have cable cutters. That's what these guys are. If you ever wanted to know what they were, well, the idea was they were to cut cables in front of it. Effectively, it's a big sharp blade. That's what it is, right? Ho ho! Be Janie then. There's Starbug. We got a H60 there beside us. And we've another wire cutter up here as well. So choppers, a lot of choppers come fitted with these wire cutters because, well, look, in reality, I mean, they're going to be flying quite low to the ground. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's pretty cool looking. There's loads of detail here on the machine as well. Looking at the main rotor assembly and then all the way down. Everything here works. I love this helicopter. It tries to kill you, which is a rewarding experience. Yes, choppers try to kill you, but they are magnificent. And like, as I said, the detail on this as well, like when it comes to helicopters, if you look at the rotor on this, that should be a very familiar looking shape to anyone who flies fixed wing. It's the same shape of a wing. I mean, the idea being is with the rotor spinning so fast, it creates a disc, and that disc is pretty much acting like a giant wing. Do you know what I mean? And then you have your tail rotor to counteract the main rotor. Very interesting stuff, but they are a cool machine. So with that said, we have a couple of folks here with us. This is awesome, lads. We're on the Southeast Asian server. If you'd like to join us. So what we're going to do, we're going to get some power into this aircraft and we're going to start taking it out for a spin. So we do have a tablet here with a number of different options. This is where we can turn things on or off. Cargo hook or cargo pod, GPS radio. Let's move this guy. Oh yeah, we have a GTN in there, perfect. So we'll use that. What else do we have? Fire extinguisher position, Bambi bucket if you wanted one, repair damage, and then we have other options there for realism. So it's pretty cool, right? JH, good to see you, buddy. I used to, where's this now? I used one of your videos off YouTube. It helped me very much setting up graphics in 2024. Ah, thank you very much indeed. Great feedback, buddy. Like to hear it. Thank you. That's awesome. That's the point of putting the videos up there. Hopefully they can help people. Or spark a conversation that I want to hear your feedback from. That's what it's all about, getting your opinion. It means a lot to me, so it's always interesting to see where we go from that, you know. Right, so in terms of our aircraft setup, we'll have a quick look over here. Flight performance, we'll go into our weight and balance. We'll go down and check our fuel. We've got 100% fuel in here, which is ideal. So we're full to the brim. And before we go any further, we're going to load into OnAir. And we need to change a couple of things because at the moment the things are an X-plane. We need to change that. Simulator configurator. We'll go into Microsoft Flight Sim. connected. Perfecto. And we'll go into our dashboard here. And we're going to have a look to see what sort of freelance jobs there are, right? I have a problem mapping the engine start button on this. Okay, we need to look into it. It is in a bit of a weird spot on the chopper. You know, it's in a weird spot. Seek freelance charter job opportunities. So we have a couple of options here. We can do cargo, passenger, sightseeing, medical, rescue, or a free flight, and then return to base. So if there is locate and evacuate injured individuals, why the devil not? Let's have a look. We'll see what missions are available to us. We can go off now and do a mission. So it's going to gather in some options for us, and we can see what's happening here if we look on the map. So we're currently situated here. And we can go in towards the city, but there's an interesting one just out here. This will bring us up into the mountains, look. So let's have a look at that one if we can find it. So it is this one. Yeah, it's this one. So what do we have here? It is off-road rescue mission with a precise location. All right, so we have a couple of options here. Some of them you have to go into the area and search. You have to do a search grid pattern and literally keep your eyes out. This one isn't too bad because we actually have a fixed location. We know precisely where these are. And if we look at it, we can see, look, there are 3 passengers in which we need to rescue. So 3 passengers to rescue. And OnAir are adding a lot more features to these missions as well. They're going to provide backstories and explain and all this kind of jazz. So this is going to be actually a very nice flight because it's going to take us out over the lake here. The Pope has a residence on this lake. It's an old volcano. And then we'll go to the far side of it. And if we zoom in on the map, we can actually see, yeah, look, there was some sort of an issue here. And it's at a house. So they're requesting an airlift, and then when we pick them up, we either drop them at a hospital or we drop them back at the airport. So that's our mission, right? So we're going to go ahead and add this by clicking take this freelance job. So let her load up, then we'll hit the fly now, and then we'll start moving out fairly lively to get an idea of where it is we need to go. Quick check here on our map. So we're using a Navigraph to give us a rough idea. We want to be heading roughly, it was around here, look. This general area, wasn't it? Just off the second. If we do this now properly as a flight, so we're going to say new flight. And we'll enter a route. We're on the ground at LI or A. LI or A. Now, if we do one of these, show the legs, fly now. Let's see here now. So we're going to say 100% fuel on board. That's all grand. LI or A, that's all grand. Validate our fuel. And we're going to fly now. UT offset. It's going to be live time. So we're going to fly all this now. And let's have a look. Starting the flight, I want to bring in the map here so I can actually see where we're going, right? So if we have a look here, so there's our map on the screen. If I change to satellite, we should be able to find this using Navigraph. So we're going to scroll down here a little bit and let's see what we can see. So they're down a good bit. Let's see. So they're down where the city kind of picks up and they're in here somewhere. Okay. Let's zoom in a bit. So we can see similarities here. There's the bit of the mountain area. I'm looking for the bit that is that it there? It is. So this area here is that area there. Superb. Okay, so if we zoom out a bit, we continue on a bit, and it seems to bring us up to around here. I think. Just in here. So we can see where the this kind of cuts in. That way. There's that location. And then across, we're down at the bottom here now. This is looking better. We can kind of see there's a bit of a vineyard in there, look. So there's the vineyard, and we are from the houses and up. We're just in here, friends. And I'd say it's that house right there. So we're going to add this into Navigraph. We're going to add this as a location. We're going to add this to our route. Add to route. And there we go. So we now have this planned in our Navigraph database. So it's only 9 miles away. This will be relatively quick. So nice one to do here. So we're going to say, right, auto set, total payload, auto set. And we're going to start tracking. And then our next mission now is to get this aircraft up and running as we head on out to the location. So OnAir is now tracking. And we'll keep that to one side. And from here, we're going to start putting power into this aircraft. So a quick check around just to make sure that our rotor brakes are disengaged. That's all looking good. We do have an engine start switch. I just want to double check the keys in this. Or is that the H5? Or is that the other one? Yeah, no, that's fine. Our ignition switch is actually located here. That's our little starter button. So we just want to watch that when we're starting up. All right. So while we're waiting, what we're going to do, we shall turn on our fuel. We don't need to lock that yet, but we will turn on some fuel. Now if I do this right, there we go. All right, so we're going to go master battery on. Let's have a quick look here. So we're going to say utility power generator, ignition system, utility power heater, panel lights, master battery, up one. And check that our circuit breakers are all in, which they are looking good. Double check our collective is free and correct. We can also put on our anti-collision lights. Position lights can come on. And we're going to have a quick look here as well. Reset our baro and direction indicator. And we also have our ignition master switch. That comes on, right? Our starter pump. Utility power we don't need just yet. And the rest of it then is going to be a matter of pressing and holding this little switch here. So let's see what happens.
Rescue mission has started. Fly to the incident location, board the passenger, and fly back within the time limit.
Now let's see. Have to keep your hand in it. Different choppers feel different as you expect, so each one handles a little bit differently. Yeah. Show the legs. Yes, I'm wearing shorts today. Okay, so let the ignition come up. I used to have this bound to a button. I can't remember which one it is. I'm sure I'll find it. Now, let's see. Because otherwise I think we're going to struggle with this. Yeah, she ain't coming up. Have I not a button for that? No. Surely. No. Jesus, we're afraid to put the button. Aha! I found it. Beardy Mac Whiskey. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Jemima is here. Right, this sounds better. Come on, Betsy. There's a good chance we've hot started it, but listen, let's not worry about that. N1 is what we're after. I forgot that I had a button on my hardware to turn this on. That's why I was under a bit of pressure. A bit of pressure. But we should be grand. Alright, RPM is coming up where it needs to be. There she goes. Torque, pressure, RPM. There we go. That's looking better. Let's come on down here. Rearm. Ignition. Re-ignition as armed. Utility power. Generator now coming on. pitot heat if we need it. That's all looking good. That's all looking good. And this is looking good. So I think we're looking good, friends. We're looking good. Right, so let me see. Quick look around. Plenty of people. We're going to be lifting off here. We're going to turn on some Toby tracking. And that looks good because it's always helpful to see what we're doing. So well, with that said, let's start adding in some collective. We're going to watch the cyclic move here. Anti-torque pedals at the ready. There we go. Oh, hang on, landing light. There we go. Alright, let's see what happens. Keep our eyes on the horizon. Try and counteract any of the movement. And it's just nice and gentle as we lift off. Easy now. We'll just try and react to the wind that's around us. We're okay in the left. We're okay in the right. Start a bit of a turn here. Face into the wind. That makes life a little bit easier. And we'll get a bit of altitude while we're doing this as well. Nice and easy. There's Speedy ahead of us. We don't hit against him, so we're going to ramble out to our left here a little bit. Tiny little bit of collective. Not to launch us. There's Dublin 18. We're just going to ramble on over him. Alright, left is clear. Starbug is ahead of us, but that's okay. We're facing into the wind is what we want. There's Mike. Looking good, Mike. Mr. Two-Tone, enjoy and have the crack. That was close. Alright, down by the end of the runway. And we'll circle back now and start heading out to where we need to get to. So, gently rolling to the right. Quick look around. We're looking good. Speed is coming up nicely. We're going to ease out of this turn just a little bit. And we can calm down our head tracking for now. And we're looking good. Alright, we're roughly heading the right direction. We're going to use that big mountain as our landmark. We do need to go on the far side of that. So as we're manoeuvring here, we do have some trims that we can use with the aircraft. Basically, it just gives us an easier time that we're not too worried about keeping our hands flying everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce a little bit of trim, rudder trim as well. And the idea being here, we should be able to fully trim this aircraft out. Or at least that's me hope, right? So we're moving nicely. 80 miles an hour. I mean, we're moving. Hands completely off, and we're actually flying this fully trimmed. Pretty cool. So again, with choppers, you want to set up your rotor trims, just like as you do in a fixed wing. You want to make sure that you have longitudinal and horizontal. Is that right? Horizontal? You want to make sure basically that your axes are capable of being trimmed. That'll just make life incredibly easier. Now bear in mind, just like with a fixed wing, your trims are going to need to be readjusted when you start changing power. In this case, if we were to add in or take away collective, we have our cyclic here, your joystick, that's called a cyclic, and then you have your rudder pedals, which are usually called anti-torque pedals. The idea being is, well, you have so much torque in that main rotor, and the tail rotor, they're used as anti-torque, right? So where we're heading up now, over this lake, I forget the name of it, Lake Albano. The Pope has a residence up there. Jesus, then he's a lovely old back garden now when you see this, right? Murph, what do you reckon the chance is Sim Update 5 will actually come out this week? Pretty high, the limits. I would say pretty high, because we know next week they are launching the World Update, and I'm fairly sure the team at Microsoft will be saying, listen, if we get Sim Update 5 out today, tomorrow, if we need to do any, you know, day 1 or day 2 patches, that'll be pushed out on top of the World Update. That makes sense? But of course, they're not going to release it knowing that they're not going to knowingly release it if there's game-breaking bugs. They might have a couple of smaller ones, but, you know, I don't think they're going to push it out if there's any major bugs. You know what I mean? Fingers crossed, man. I am looking forward to it. Like, look, I think for most of us, the sim is working just fine, but we need to keep an eye, you know, where we're going to be at after Sim Update 5. That could create problems, you know? Sumner, good to see you, buddy. So, the Pope's gaff, right? That's it there, look. See that building there? Just below us? Hasn't he an amazing view, the devil? You know, I mean, look at the lake. I mean, you wouldn't be saying no to this for a pad. Do you know what I mean? Ah, yeah, he knew what he was doing. Alright, over the lake. It's no volcano. 100%, dude. Loads of features being added, yeah. It looks like, imagine it, yeah. I think it was originally a volcano. It looks like a crater, but I think more, it used to be a volcano. You know. That's a cool looking view. Man, what a machine this is. Isn't this gorgeous, isn't it? We'll ramble on this way, look. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. I'm using different screens here. Hang on. Morph. Hang on now, Morph. Ah, yes. Actually, I'm trying to think on the vertical screen. That's probably a better screen to have for you, because you can see better, you know? The Impossible Phase, take it fierce handy, buddy. Have a great day. I mean, that looks awesome, lads, doesn't it? With the shadow of the rotor. I think that looks absolutely class looking. And if you want to hear the rotors sing, have a listen. Not awesome. Absolutely deadly. Alright, continue on. We're looking for this second lake just over the hill here. Oh, we got a load of people with us today. This is awesome. Nice. Okay, so there's our second lake. Easy now. Good to see you, bud. Alright, we're looking good. Sounds are good, aren't they? Oh, look at that! That's awesome. Talking about a guy, yes indeed, this is Flight Sim 24. Camo the Whammo, hello from Kiwiland. Kia ora, buddy, hope you're well. Kia ora, kia ora, kia ora, that's better. See, I learned native Kiwi. Kia ora. You're very welcome in, lads. Right, we're getting close. So we're going to ease off some of our collective here. Watch our trims, and we're going to start lowering ourselves here as best we can. Watching our speed. Let's see what we can do. So we're doing about 100 miles an hour, about 80 odd knots, and we're going to keep, let's just lower our position here. So let's see what we can do. For this, we're going to have to turn back on our head tracking. There we go. Man, look at this. This is beautiful. Live time and weather. Isn't it stunning in Italy today? A bit cloudy, but man, it's still pretty. Okay, our speed is looking good. Rate of descent is looking good. About 1,000 feet a minute. And what we're looking out for is like the emergency services vehicles. OnAir will actually inject objects into the simulator for you. So that should help you find them. So we're trying to close into our position. It should be dead ahead of us. And we just need to be very careful. There's a something on the ground. I'm not sure if that's what I'm after though. Well, jeez, it looks like it, doesn't it? We have a something here. Now watch the rate of descent. We'll see if we can actually land beside this and let our crew out. There's something blue. It looks like there's a plane buried into the ground. Easy now. Watch your torque. Try not to hit VRS. There we go. Alright, we definitely got a something there dead ahead of us. Now in terms of landing here, I mean, we can set down probably on the road and let the team run out. We might be able to set down right beside it, but there's a hell of a slope there, look. Jesus. Naughty Gnome, good to see you. Yeah, TriStar we're probably doing next week, buddy. Just had to take a little bit of a break. Now, what's going to be ideal here? Let's have a look. It's very slopey. We could enter a hover. Yeah, look, it's a plane minced into the ground, look. Jesus. Easy now. Yeah, the high performance stuff is pretty cool. The missions you can do, they're awesome. Mind the trees here now. Jesus, we don't want to add to the calamity of like a downed aircraft. I'm just trying to figure out where's a safe spot for us to set this down. The terrain is real tricky here. Like, we're definitely over the site. I'm just trying to think where we can land. There's a lot of trees. And this slope is just shocking. There's a bit of an area just beneath us. I don't know, lads. We'll ease into it a little bit more. Watch the old friggin' power, Murph. No, that valley, this doesn't look good at all, does it? Gotta be careful here. Right, that's definitely the site. I wonder, I mean, there is a road there, but like, I mean, look at the friggin', look at the slope. We can't really do much here. We'd have to be like, this is just going to be awkward. Because whatever about setting down, it's the friggin' rotors.
Passengers boarding has started.
Okay, we're close enough. Hang on, we can actually put this down here, look. Our rotor shouldn't hit the ground. Easy. Easy. It's a plane. It's a plane crash. Easy now. Jesus. We are kicking up dust. We're so close. Ah! The wind is not helping, but let's see, just can we just gently put this down? Get us in. A little bit more. A little bit more. Our right skid is down. I'm just trying to hold it. Alright. Jesus, lads. I mean, that's as close as we can get. Yikes. Let's hold station. Okay, so OnAir is just talking to me here.
Loaded payload is lower than due payload. 237 instead of 260.8 kilograms.
Okay. We need this to load. Weight and balance. We had this issue before. Let's have a look. It might give out to me again where our loaded payload. I think this is an issue with the Taog's choppers. Okay, let's see. Fuel on board, radar altitude, 3 passengers loaded, boarding has finished, take off and fly to any airport. Remaining time to bring them back is 9 minutes. Right, we got to haul ass. Alright, passengers are loaded. Let's get them back to the airport. So, collective coming in, watch the anti-torque. We don't want to spin off and hit anything here. Alright, loads of power, get us up fairly lively. There we go. Yep, see daisy. Watch the anti-torque. And let's just gain a little bit of altitude here. Loads of power. We're heavy now because we've just loaded these passengers in. Alright, now let's go to me. Let's bug on out of here. Alright. Ease off our anti-torque. Speed is coming up. RPM is looking okay. And let's gain a bit of altitude here. We're going to head back to the airport. Jeez, that was a spot, wasn't it? And like, depending on the chopper, what it's capable of doing, weight and balance, I mean, you know, the UH-60s there, they'd be laughing at this. They can carry massive weight, but there's no way they would have landed. They would have had to drop down winchmen, winch them all up, making the pilot's job, well, very difficult. You know, a huge advantage to operating this small chopper. We can pretty much get this into some very small places. I mean, our risk there wasn't just landing. Our risk was when you land on slope terrain, your rotor can friggin' take the ground out beside you. But we seem to be going okay so far. And we do have a time limit. We need to haul ass because we've 7 minutes to get them back.
Weep 350 at 6 knots.
Alright, that's giving us an idea of the weather. We don't have time to mess here, so we need maximum speed as we ramble on back. 145 also in a mess. It needs a bit of work for sure. You know. Yeah, we were getting the wash effects, yeah. Alright. We're 8 miles out. We're moving at around 95 knots. We should be okay, we hope. But we'll keep her lit, lads. We'll keep her lit. As we're back flying now, we're going to add in some trim once again, just to take the pressure off us. Oh wow, look at that church there, look. Let's get down to this guy, look. Look how friggin' awesome this... Jesus, look at the view from that little church. Look at this, lads. Isn't that insane? Look at their view. That's beautiful. Alright, speed is booting it now. This is what we want. And we'll keep adjusting our trim. Yeah, the UH-60 and auto hover, yeah. It has all that stability systems built into it as well. It's class. I mean, with this little chopper, this thing, as the Limbics quite rightfully said, I mean, this is going to try and kill you. You know what I mean? Alright, the good news, we got the airport in sight. We don't need to worry too much about climbing. I just want to keep that speed as best we can as we come out over the second lake. We got 6 minutes to get in and get landed. Otherwise, it's going to be mission failed. This is a time-sensitive mission without a shadow of a doubt. Alright, speed is alright-ish. We'll keep the nose down here as we move along. Back over the Pope's retreat. Hozai Air is beneath us. Man, that's awesome. I love the rotor animation. Whoa! We got lots of people flying with us. Here's the airport. Let's see what happens. Murph, does say intentions workflow helicopter VFR flights? Does say intentions work for helicopter VFR flights? I think so, yeah. Should do. For VFR flight, yeah, should do. I mean, Sky Ops works just fine with choppers, so yeah. I'd say it does, Gary. 4 minutes, come on, Betsy. Straight into it now, no messing. This is going to be like the most aggressive friggin' landing. We have skis, so we can kind of scrape it in if we need to. Speed's coming down, airport's inside. Once we land at the airport, it's happy. Just watch out for the friggin' lamppost when we get down here. Oh, Big Al, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? That's a great movie, isn't it? Al, you can be Blackburn. Shagov. Right, 4 minutes. Gary, no, I think it does work, Gary. Alright, easy now. Collective coming down, cycling coming back. We want to bleed the speed and get ourselves down on the ground as quickly as possible. So speed is now bleeding off. That's exactly what we want. Watch the windsock. Easy. 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 There we go. Nothing too fancy there. It'll do them 300 feet a minute. But we're in. Landing has logged. So let me see. I think we need to shut her down. We need to shut her down. So turn off the ignition, and we will turn off our fuel. Easy now. Alright, fuel coming down. Starter pump off. Gen off. And that should do us. Get the rotors off. We do have a rotor brake. Ah, Betsy. Flight is finished. Your flight has been monitored by OnAir. Let's have a look. So, let's see here now. Job finished, rescue mission, pay 1200, off-road rescue mission, precise location, comfort bonus, safety bonus, aircraft handling bonus, crosswind bonus. That was pretty cool. We got some options there. Our overall score, let's have a look at the record. What it liked and what it didn't. Our landing, it didn't like that at all. We came in very hard, but we were time constrained, so that's what we did. Everything else I was happy with. We just lost a couple of points there, but I would say that is mission complete. Successful mission. Nice. All right. We have the option to do more of these. You pick it up tomorrow. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, it is. It's a paid add-on. And it works off a subscription, so if you pick it up for 2 years, that's like €72, but it works out at about $3 a month. And this is only one side of it, the missions. I mean, it's a full career mode. There's industrial stuff you can do here, like an industry tycoon. We got a load of stuff here, you know, loads of stuff. So that was a rescue one. We can go back in and have a look at a few more rescue missions and see what's there. Right, that one was particularly difficult. We'll zoom in here and say, well, hey, look, we got some stuff that'll bring us into the city itself. This one here, for example, is a road rescue mission. Right, this could be interesting. This is going to bring us into just north of the Termini station. We're north of the Vatican. So this is a roadside collision, which means we'll want to get down there. So I think we'll take this one on as well. What do you reckon? I'd say let's go with this. So we're going to take on this job. Give it a moment. Are my rotors still freaking moving? Easy now. Our fuel is off, engine's off, the whole second thing is off. Why is there still torque in this? All does not seem well in the round, does it? That's interesting. I can't seem to shut her down. We do have a rotor brake out. Come on, Betsy. Keep going. Man, it takes a minute for this to pull down, doesn't it? Pull the rotor brake on the center pillar. Well, a rotor brake, I thought, is up here, no? She's coming down. Alright, she's down. Alright. On air, let's go ahead and fly. We'll top back up our fuel. That looks good. Validate our weight and balance. We're going to click fly now. And we need to get ourselves up the road. So let's see. We're going to remove this guy. We're going to remove this guy. Say done. All right, let's have a look where this guy is. So he is landmark north of the train station, north of Herb. There's that building. There's that. There's a brown house, and there's the intersection. Okay, I believe them to be right there. I'm going to add that to our route. We're going to close this, hide this, and I think we're good to go again. Right, start tracking. And let's get our system turned on here. So we're going to say starter pump engage, anti-collision lights, position lights are coming on. We will, at this stage, turn on the ignition master switch. We will turn on our fuel. Oh, Betsy. And let's give this machine a start. Let's see what happens.
Rescue mission has started. Fly to the incident location, board the passenger, and fly back within the time limit.
So OnAir is telling us, right, you've taken on the mission, you need to get up to where they are. If I show you here on Navigraph, we're going to take off, we're going to be flying on a heading of roughly 320 degrees. We're going to come into the centre of Rome. The Termini train station is going to be our main eyes on. We'll overfly it, come to a park area. We'll see the Vatican off our left hand side, and the Tiber is there. Mother of Jesus, Murphy. Alright, no one got hurt in the production. Right, we're moving. I left the friggin' throttle open. Right, it's grand. That's it was a professional takeoff. Yeah, professional. What an absolute idiot. Right, drive it on quick. Everything else is grand. Yeah. Feck the lads, Murphy went straight out, as you do. It's not going to like that takeoff. What did we probably hit about like 4 Gs just taking off. Oh, Jesus. Right. Okay, we're lit now. I'll edit that part out, right? Let's not speak of it again. Easy now. Okay, we don't want to be climbing, so put that nose down. Here you go. Here you go. Alright, keep the nose down. Man, it's so great having photogrammetry here, isn't it? Alright, 9 miles in. Keep her low now, keep her low. That's like an old film studio, I think. I think we're up this neck of the woods. Mussolini built this big kind of Italian Hollywood kind of a setup. It's supposed to be mad altogether. Yeah, it was a ballistic takeoff. That's the shot. Man, look at the old ruins and stuff we have here. Oh, I need to go back to Rome. That's an old villa. Ah, Jesus, look. I need to go back to Rome. My favourite city in the whole wide world is Rome. Absolutely love it. I'm sure no one will remember that for tonight's stream. Man, the boys say, yeah. It won't happen. You won't remember it at all. It's going to be absolutely grand. And sure, listen, isn't that just it? Nothing to worry about. Yes, right. Well done, Murph. Bit of tunage. Have to go back and get your breakfast. Right, we're looking okay. Okay, so for landmarks, want to keep an eye out for the main train station. It's pretty much dead ahead. Easy now. Man, what a view. This is pretty. Okay, there's the train station. Now when we come back, we'll do a bit of exploring around Rome because, well, I'm a virtual tourist and I love Rome, but there's a number of buildings I want... Oh, Jesus, there's a number of buildings I want to check out. So, easy does it, Jemima. We are very close. Very, very close. We're over that parkland. Easy now. Easy now. Okay, there's the Tiber. It's actually a canal. Alright lads, what we're looking out for here on the road is emergency vehicles. So we've arrived to the area, we just need to find now the emergency vehicles at a junction, right? So we'll get down low enough so we can see.
340 at 3 knots.
Easy now, easy now. Okay, nice and easy now. It's a junction that we're looking for. Bloody hell, the amount of trees. So we're looking for emergency service vehicles on the ground. Here's a road. So we'll wrong road. We'll go over this way a bit. 98 Vulcan, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. There goes Speedy Pro ahead of us. I think we gotta go over this way a bit. Jesus, this is going to be awkward now with the houses so close. I remember watching a documentary as well. Where we are at the moment, there's an ancient dump, right? Where it was all full of the old kind of vases and stuff, right? What was that noise? Yeah, we'll call into the Pope there and ask him how he is. Oh jeez, I'm after passing it. Is it just here? Man, we're very close. Easy now. Easy now. Does anyone see emergency vehicles? I certainly don't where I am. Amphreys, yeah. Isn't that them? Amphrey? Jesus, then I don't see where it is we're supposed to be landing. There's a junction just here, but the photogrammetry trees are blocking the whole shagging thing. Ah, Jesus. Easy now. This is definitely the junction. That's definitely the junction. Right, how on earth? Okay, so OnAir is saying, look, you're close enough, just stay in this area and we'll load them. Easy. Easy. Okay, we just gotta Jesus, mind the building. We just need to kind of hang loose here for a minute. Easy now. Is he on that street there where Kladsky is? I reckon Kladsky's down with them. Easy now, with 30 seconds. Let's just hang loose. Thread the needle. Failure is not an option. Work the problem, people. OnAir likes where I am. It's loading them where we are, so it's simulating that we're winching them. But usually they'll inject a vehicle like a fire truck or an ambulance. Boarding finished, take off and get out of here.
Loaded
Right.
payload is lower than due payload, 77 instead of 88.5 kilograms.
That'll be alright. Auto set, and auto set. Alright, let's see if it does want to help us out here. The weight has been added. Right.
Loaded payload is lower than due payload, 163 instead of 174.6 kilograms.
174.6. 174.6 kilos. That'll do us. Right, OnAir, you happy with that? Let's hope. Let's hope. Okay, it seems happy. Let's get out of here. The old spinneroony. Alright. Horse it on there now, Francine. You up the hill. Yes. Alright, we're moving. Return to base. Easy now. We're booting it and we're heading back to the airport. Back out over the city. Whew. Man alive, it's tight, isn't it? It's tight down there. OnAir seems happy so far. We'll keep her moving. With 13 minutes, we'll fly over the Coliseum. Oh yeah. There's the Coliseum. Isn't that spectacular? Ah, brilliant. Beautiful. The Circus Maximus off there to our right hand side. There's the Coliseum. There's the Circus Maximus. We'll come back into the city. Jesus, where are you going? We'll come back into the city now in a moment to do a bit of sightseeing, will we? Alright, we need to head back to the airport. Easy now. Murph, do you mind sharing the website you purchased the Mac from? It was Amazon. Roy, I got it on Amazon. Easy now. And I was lucky, I don't know how I did it. I just went onto Amazon, found the Mac at the price. I was like, holy crap, that's cheap. And I just grabbed it. Just lucky, I suppose. Alright, keep moving. Keep her moving. That looks to be the Appian Way down there. Looks like it. Could be further out. I got a MacBook Pro, 24 gigs of RAM. No, there was another one, Roy, called onbuy.com. ONBUY. OnBuy. It's another marketplace. That's where I picked up an iPad for €215. And in the shops, they're €389. And it is a legit iPad. I checked the serial number. Apple have all this security stuff you can check to see, is it legit? It's not a refurb. So OnBuy was that website. It was just a standard iPad 11th gen for €215. And the very same one, you go on Apple, you go into like Harvey Norman, or you can check out Amazon, they're 385 quid or 380 odd quid. That was a huge saving. Massive saving. So that was with a crowd called OnBuy. You got an Air 24 gig a couple of months ago. Yeah, no, they are good. Like, the reason for me having the Mac is basically it's a mobile streaming setup. That's what it is. I need to go live from the Mac actually soon, because I need to test all my scenes and audio. It won't be anything near what we have here, but it shouldn't be like a disaster either. Do you know what I mean? It'll be ideal for like at Expo and if I'm out and about. That's the idea behind it. Looking for a Mac Studio refurb. The Mac Mini is struggling. Yeah, have a look. They may or may not have it. They're a marketplace. So like, they're kind of like an Amazon. You know what I mean? But no, I was happy with it. I mean, the iPad I'm using, I mean, that's what's coming up on the screen. This is the iPad in behind that. And it works perfectly well. Perfectly well. Alrighty. Gonna plan for a landing once again. This time try and make it a bit more friggin' gentle, Murphy. Easy. Oh man, it's so great seeing you guys in choppers. I love this. Probably parallel import for no manufacturer warranty. Yeah, but you just put it with Apple Care and it covered. Like, it's fully, you have a warranty anywhere in Europe anyway on electrical goods, but with Apple Care they cover that. And like, when I bought it, when I turned it on, and you know, when you register it, it tells you have 60 days to register for Apple Care. So like, it's a legit Apple product. And as I say, the serial numbers, there's a way to know if it was an original or if it was a refurb or if it was questionable. And you can do all that directly with Apple. And that's what I did. The second it arrived, I took it out of the box. Everything looked legit. Turned it on, went through all the settings, got the serial number from the software and also the serial number from the device, and green lights, all green lights. So yeah, it was great to save a whole chunk of change on an iPad. And the reason why I got it, my son's iPad at the time was like a 5th gen. It just couldn't, a gig of RAM. It couldn't handle even watching friggin' YouTube. So I was like, right, I'll get a new iPad for him. And then I was looking at it, I said, well sure, if it's just going to be used for watching TV, I'll give him my 10th gen and I'll get the 11th gen, you know? Yeah, have a look, Roy. See how we get on, man. As I said, I've bought one thing from it, and it was perfect. So yeah, do your due diligence though, just to be sure. But yeah, I'd definitely check it out, buddy. And if you can save a few quid, man, that's what it's all about. You can save money on anything. Brilliant. Right, Murphy, put it down here now. Good and gentle. We want to put this down. Easy. We don't need to be too fancy here because we're going to take off here now again. Easy. All the choppers, man, you love it. Easy. Easy. Looking good. Easy. Drop her down. There we go. Right, landing time has been logged. Alright, notification, job finished, rescue mission complete. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, look, this is way happier. We even got away with our dodgy takeoff. That's fantastic news. Reputation increase, safety bonus, handling bonus. Brilliant. Let's look at the record. It didn't like me takeoff. Brilliant. So our pitch, yeah, that was all wrong at the start. That was pretty cool. So that was that mad building. So yeah, that's where the crash site was. That's interesting. Okay, great stuff. On air, you've been an absolute privilege and a pleasure to fly with. These are ad hoc jobs. They're freelance, right? So if you just want to jump in and get kind of into a mission, away you go. On the career side of it, I mean, if you wanted to, you could become that career pilot that does these missions as part of your career. Rather than doing like cargo or passenger transport, you have these options, which is absolutely deadly. You can do all of these things in it. So yeah, I really enjoy that. So excellent stuff from On Air. So what we're going to do, we'll just ramble into Rome here for a little bit, lads. Just to see what the crack is, will we? We'll ramble in just to see what the crack is, and we'll do a bit of stuff. Offer some beauty sleep. Limbix, take it easy, bud. Take it easy. Have a great day. See you Saturday morning. Indeed. Roy says there's some technician who's able to change out the standard modules, so an iPad with 1 terabyte memory is doable. I saw something on YouTube, but like I think it's like literally Roy. He's out with the solder iron, and I mean, do you know? I'm sure it's fine and all, but like Jesus. Right, lads, we're going to ramble back into the Eternal City. So let's see what we can do here. Come down in my seat a little bit so I can see out my windows. There we go. There's Sergeant Beast beside us. Alright, easy now, Murph. Easy. There's Starbug. Looking good, lads. Alright, let's gain. Jersey Devil is with us. Good to see him, dude. We're gonna gain up a little bit of power here as we lift off. Storm is over there in a Chinook. And Jesus, Clancy went upside down. Let's ramble this way, up and out of it. Clancy, you're an absolute mad ticket. Alright. And should we just kind of ease our way into it now? What's your speed? There we go. There's Vulcan ahead of us. So what I want to do now, we're just going to follow in the rail, because this comes in past the aqueduct and also the Appian Way. And we're just going to kind of filter this into the city then as well. Because I saw when we were flying in the last time, I came across something kind of cool. So we might actually we'll go back up the road here just to see, right? He has the right tools to make it possible. Nice. Yeah, that's kind of mad, Roy, isn't it? That's mad, buddy. Right, so we don't need to be going terribly high here. Let's get some trim into place. Ease off some of that collective. Because what I want to do here, we came across some ruins a while ago. I want to check them out. I'm not familiar with them. I thought I heard my door opening. I'm not familiar with these ruins up here, so we'll go up and kind of investigate them. They look to be just up here, look. Easy now. Like, what is this place? And this is what I always love about going to Rome. I mean, I've been there several times, and like, every time I go to Rome, I find something new. There's always something new to check out. It is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right, so here, look at this, man. Right hand side. I have to figure out what this is. Jesus, there's all sorts going here. I wonder what sort of age we're talking. Certainly looking at some of the building structure, it's very kind of, they're a bit kind of square and blocky. But hang on, we'll have to ramble in here and check all this out. Jesus, there's a whole lot going on here. Let's ramble up here to see what we're looking at. And out will come some maps. This is terribly interesting. Did you ever watch, was it Time Team? Do you remember that? Oh, the desk is finally done. The monitor arm was delayed. Oh, good man, Roy. Brilliant. Are you liking it, Roy? Is it a game changer for you? Your man out of Blackadder used to do time missions. Did you ever watch them? They were brilliant. Right, easy now. Easy now. We're alright. Right, see, can we set ourselves down here? Kinda. Right, that was a bit of a bang. Game changer? Nice. Baldrick, that's the one. Right, let's have a look here at some maps of where we are, because I don't know where we are. And this certainly looks pretty cool. So, maps. I'm into Rome with us. And to get an idea where we are. So we just came out of Ciampino. And we left the runway. We came over the two drones. And this is it. The Via di Quintilli Calendarium. What? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's what we're looking at, lads. Alright, what do we know about this? Villa de... let's do it now. Search Rooney on this. The Villa of Quintilli was the largest and most sumptuous residence of the Romans. The original nucleus belonged to the Quintilli brothers, the two consuls of the year 151 AD, and was expanded when the villa became imperial property under Emperor Commodus, who loved to live here for the tranquility of the countryside and also the thermal baths. The villa extended between the Via Appia Antica and the Via Appia Nova, and built around a large square. The most impressive part of the construction consists of the main rooms and those of the servants. A circular building with a series of rooms and two large thermal rooms of the Calendarium, and the Frigidarium with large windows 14 meters high and polychrome marble. The monumental complex overlooks the Roman countryside and offers a panorama that has inspired many famous artists over time. This is class looking. Jesus. What do people say about it on TripAdvisor? Ah, Jesus, look at the pictures, look. That's class. The old marble is still there? Oh my god, they even have the friggin' mosaics there? That's incredible. So 151 AD, like, I mean, you're talking Commodus? Jesus, Roman emperors, list of Roman emperors. When was Commodus? Was he 2 after? Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius. Hang on. Commodus 177-192. He ended the Nerva Antoine dynasty. But the collapse didn't really happen until kind of well, Commodus, no, you're right, it started going backwards. Like Marcus Aurelius, I think that was the prime time. Hadrian and Trajan, like that was like massive, right? So Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, the last of the Julio-Claudians, right? Then Galba, the year of the 4 emperors, Vespasian of the Flavian dynasty. So Vespasian is terribly important. The reason being is the Flavian dynasty, the Flavian theater, or was it the Flavian theater? That's the Colosseum. It was known as the Flavian theater, right? Titus, there's a big arch for Titus because he went into Jerusalem and had the crack. Domitian, Nervan, Trajan, so you might have Trajan, the Trajan markets. Hadrian, of course, he did far more than build Hadrian's Wall. I always find that funny when you see Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian did all sorts, and the wall was actually probably one of the smallest contributions he had, considering everything else Hadrian brought to the Roman Empire. But yeah, it was awesome. Heisenberg, good morning. But yeah, Commodus's father, yeah, Lucius Verus, or Verus. Co-emperor with Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, he was a good guy. It's kind of funny how Rome went out, right? I mean, you had the good, the bad, the good, the bad, the very bad. Then you had a couple of Muppets. Then you had good, very good, and then bad, funny bad. You know what I mean? Vespasian introduced public urinals, which are still called Vespasiani in Italy. That's nuts. Man, what a place we just found, right? This is awesome. So the whole area, it's just a massive villa. Look at it. I mean, look at the layout of it as a villa, right? So we have, here's like a mini amphitheater over here, look. You can see the steps. And there would have been walls around this. There would have been a wall behind it. That would have been an amphitheater or like it's like a modern day theater, right? And you are up on a bit of height here, which is interesting. This big round building. I mean, there was thermal baths here. Isn't that nuts? But only that. Here's the fridge place then. The frigitarium. Frigitarium? Frigidarium. Oh, do you remember your man out of South Park? Oh, welcome to the planet Arium. That fella, right? The giant fridge. And then just other houses, walls, and all the jazz. That's crazy. And look at the little chapel in here as well, look. Ah, man. This is beautiful. Oh, Jesus, I love Rome. I absolutely love the state of it. I mean, look what that divil lives there, the big lucky divil, look. Walk into your garden and there's like, you know, 2,000 years of history in the garden, right? Am I on ultra graphics? I am. But it's photogrammetry, so you can't really add much to this. You know what I mean? Well, now, wasn't that a find? Wasn't that a great find? Of all the times I've been to Rome, of all the times we've flown Rome in the Sim, never came across that, you know. Comicus, last week, History of the World. Comicus? Man, that's awesome. Alright, we continue on. Great to find this place and also put some meaning to it, right? Right. Yepsy daisy. Yepsy daisy. Alright. Yep. Let's be moving. Man, what a cool place to find. Deadly. Alright, we continue on. See what else we can see out here. Out in the sticks. Yeah, but what have the Romans done for us? The Romans? Jeez, look at the villa in here, look. Jesus, having the lovely places out here, look. The Appian Way. I'm inclined to go to the right here a bit because we're going to see the aqueduct. The aqueduct? Jesus, here's more of it here, look. The roads, the wine. Oh yeah, the wine goes without saying. But apart from the roads, irrigation, the wine, sanitation, public health, what have they done for us? Of course, indeed, designed by the Irish, Sunjammer. Yes, yes. You were listening in last week's history. Very good, yes. All this was designed by the Irish. And we shared it with the Romans. You know, Roman candles. Shut up! Brilliant. Right, so here's where the aqueduct is. The aqueduct. We'll go check out the aqueduct. Now this one is no longer in use. Obviously it's missing loads of it, right? But there are still aqueducts in Rome that are still functioning. In actual fact, they still produce water, or they still feed water into some of the fountains. Easy now. So this is all, well, that's the aqueduct there behind us, and this is all nearby. I know we're down with the rail, but it's right by the Appian Way. The Appian Way, they might say, or the Appian Way. It was said that your man Appian, or Appian, or whatever his name was, your man who designed the road, he was blind, and he used to use his feet, and he could tell just by feeling the road under his feet if all the blocks were level. Isn't that mad, isn't it? Right, we'll continue in a little bit. Because we want to venture up to where the Imperial gates are, the Imperial walls. The city walls, effectively. So we can follow on the aqueduct there beside us. The aqueduct. And what we're looking for here then is just going to be, you know, very, very old buildings, right? Very old buildings. Hey, Viper Strike, good morning, buddy. Hope you're well. Happy Thursday, man. So that's all rail here on the right-hand side, but you can see where the aqueduct rambles in, look. I mean, this is class. Chase, look at all the buses, look. See all the buses? Oh man, this is class. I love going to Rome. Easy now. We still got the aqueduct. It's out by the railway. And now we're coming into the city. Jesus, that looks good, doesn't it? 40 kilometres, yeah, 40 kilometres away, some of those aqueducts. Isn't that mad, isn't it? Alright, continue on. It was where the slaves were crucified by the Romans and Spartacus. Yeah, the Appian Way. And that was sent as a warning. They lined the Appian Way with, they're all crucified. Crucifixion? The life of Brian is just like, you know. Horizon Vector, good to see you, bud. Welcome in. Marcus Licinius Crassus ordered 6,000 survivors crucified along the Appian Way. Yeah, it was over 100 miles from Rome to Capua. Oh yeah, there was no messing with frickin' with Crassus. There's the aqueduct, we're still following it in. And then it'll ramble in behind the city wall. We got the Termini train station up ahead of us. Mrs. GPHI, 14 months spent entirely upside down. Thank you very, very much indeed for the resub, Mrs. Good morning. Hope you're keeping well. Easy Davey is in the Nolawet. Come on, Davey. Easy. Easy. We're still following it. There's the aqueduct. A great bunch of lads. Yeah, Mac. A great bunch of lads. Going to be ignored. What happened, J-Foot? Looks like a bunch of Italian and Spanish houses. Yeah, like it's, well, they are Italian, but like a lot of the houses influence, it's all kind of that Mediterranean area. Right, go handy now. Here's one of the gates coming into the city. That's awesome. Easy. Man, that's deadly. Max Stallion, good to see you, bud. Hope you're well. By the way, lads, if you drop a comment and I miss it, just say it again. That's why I have things on slow, because I can't read the shack and chat, especially in a chopper. So I'm not trying to be a muppet. Just I just don't see it, and it drives me friggin' nuts if comments are ignored. So just call me out on it, yeah. Those smelly itis. Colonel Indiana, good to see it. Man, this is class. Just say it again. Yeah, just say it again. So, J-Foot, if you say something and I haven't copped it, just say it again, buddy. I do my best. I try not to ignore anyone. I don't want to ignore anyone, if that makes sense. So, if I just don't see it, I don't see it. So, just say it again. The Bruno Foxy, good to see it. Alright, easy now. So if we do this right, we're on Lane, because the aqueduct used to run down this way. And it brings us up over ancient Rome. This is down by the Colosseum. Hey, Muttley, good to see you. Now the Colosseum it's quite modern, considering the history of Rome. It's modern enough, as in Flavian's theatre, right? But it's the Forum, to me, the ancient Forum, which is pretty cool, you know. Colonel Indiana, hope you're well. You should probably ignore you. Rain is here, good to see you. And yeah, a lot of trees here. Energizer, you missed me message. I was trying to distract you from flying the heli when you hit the ground. Sorry, Energizer. Jesus. See? J-Foot, you're not alone. Ah, Mac Vision, thank you very much indeed. That's awesome, buddy. Where's J-Foot? He's feckin' ignoring me now. Will you come on out of that? Say something! Do something! Built on Nero's old golden palace. Some of it was where the Colosseum is. So Nero had a giant man-made lake, right? And that lake used to have a colossus of Nero, would you believe? And Nero's palace, I got to visit Nero's palace. It's underground. It was absolutely brilliant. It's grand, I just arrived. Good man, Energizer. But they gave us the, hard hats and a headlight, and down underground we went. Stu Snape is here. You always ignore me. I'm used to it. I have no complex whatsoever. Good to see you, Stu. That's terrible. I don't ignore people. I just might see something. Jeez, there's a terrible feckin' giving out to me. Just spotted the Pantheon, biggest concrete structure until modern times. Yep. As the biggest dome. Now, one of these arches is actually Titan's Arch. I don't think it's that one. There's one further up in the Forum. So like the Colosseum, it's instantly recognisable because it just stands out. But the amount of other stuff here in the Forum, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Being ignored is a compliment from Murph. Ah, Jesus. So, see that arch down the far end? Not the one in front of us, there's one down the far end. I think that's Titan's Arch. And usually these arches were built as signs of a triumph. And that's why you have the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. Same idea, very same idea. So where we are now in the Forum, we're kind of over this was kind of like accommodation blocks, apartments back in the day, right? We can see then a couple of pillars still standing. One of them is the old temple of Saturn. That's where the money was kept. Right? And we ramble in here. We can ramble up to where the old Senate House is. A lot of, lot of misunderstanding, thinking that Caesar was stabbed in the Senate House. The Senate House is actually closed when Caesar was assassinated on the Ides of March. So they were using a different building. Seeing that compared to the Colosseum, yeah, massive sense of scale, yeah, definitely. It'd be great to have this in like exacting detail. Photogrammetry isn't bad, but like, wouldn't it be great to have this in higher detail? But this is class. This area just off our nose, where all the those pillars used to stand, I think that was the Temple of the Vestal Virgins. I think. I need to get the old map out. I wanted to be ignored, Merv. You've upset now. I want a compliment by being ignored. Balls, and I read it out as well. Yeah, maybe 2030. Soon there's going to be another Arc de Triomphe. The forum is just like Murphy's forum, just as ancient with the jokes. So's your face. The Capitoline Hill. There we have the altar to the fatherland, the Emmanuel something or other. There's the old Senate House, just behind us, covered in scaffolding. Thanks, Heisenberg. And they actually found an awful lot more. They're still finding stuff even in the forum. Like, they're constantly finding stuff. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So what we'll do from here, we're just going to come up the hill here. Palatine, Capitoline. We're going to head up the hill here because this is where they had the Imperial Palace. We stayed in a hotel with a sight of the Tivoli Fountain. Yeah, it's so good. Hey, Linny's here. Good to see you. Roy, it's absolutely incredible. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. So if you ramble up this way, this is where the Imperial Palace was built. And the idea behind... There was a number of different palaces up here. And at the back of it then, we had the Circus Maximus. Which we'll go over now and check out the Circus Maximus. Can they find your dad? Most of the interesting stuff in Rome was within reasonable walking distance, 100%. You will walk, I mean you will walk, but it's so good. It's like, there's so much to see. So here's all like the apartments of the Imperial Palace here, look. Giving me a few LIRA, 98 Vulcan, yeah. Right, so we'll set it down here right into the Circus Maximus. And there's a number of these in Rome. Like the Circus Maximus, like the Colosseum, they were like the big, massive major events. But there's loads of other amphitheaters and, circus, chariot racing all over the place. And what's even interesting is, where the ancient ones used to be, you can actually find signs of them today because the shape of some of the buildings in Rome, they were actually built, oh mother of God, they were built, oh, that was a crash, they were built on the foundations of this stuff, which is crazy, right? Yeah, avert your eyes to that landing, you know. Where David Gilmour performed. So we'll do a bit of touring here now to see what we can see, right? So the Circus Maximus, and back then you can kind of see here some of the original kind of concrete. There was massive stands built around this. It was a huge stadium, and you can kind of see where you think it's like raised grass. And you know, for hundreds of years they have used grass, but this was all a raised seating stadium. Roman NASCAR. Capacity-wise, they could fit, I think it was somewhere between 100 and 150,000 spectators here along the Circus Maximus. Whereby, if you were to look at the Colosseum, I think the Colosseum could hold somewhere between 50 and 80,000, depending on what was on, right? So Flavian's Theatre, it was known as Flavian's Theatre until, you know, it got the name Colossus meaning big, or Colosseum, right? But finished in 79 AD, and this thing was pretty much the main kind of political and social hub. Anything from gladiators to they had plays, concerts, reenactments were huge here, especially back then. I mean, newspapers or like the telly, forget about it. A lot of generals or emperors would have ran these massive spectacles to show you know, these are all the battles that we did. They'd reenact them. They'd dress them up in the clothing of the peoples that they conquered. And they would have put on a massive show in the Colosseum. And it's actually built, as I said, on an old man-made lake, because before the Colosseum's time, this is all a man-made lake, in which then you had Emperor Nero doing the stuff, you know. London Controller in with the raid. Jamie, thank you very much indeed. And yeah, we're just checking out a bit of, I'm going to bore you sideways, a bit of Roman history as we're here in Rome, but it's pretty cool looking. But I hope you had a great stream, buddy. Thank you very much indeed for the raid. Lads, you're very welcome in. Happy Thursday. Jamie, I think you're back on tonight, aren't you? You're away in the, you're away to the dock. So welcome in, lads. Thank you very much indeed for the raid. So we're just here looking at the Colosseum, or Flavian's Theatre, as it was called. And this was built on what was an ancient lake. And in the area of Rome, now we photogrammetry, which is really good, and then there's other areas where it's not so good. But over here, see this green area, this big park? This is the location of Nero's palace. Now, Nero's palace, Nero was made famous, you know, he was fiddling as Rome burned. That was the story of it, right? Which may or may not be true. I don't think it was true based on my research. But anyway, Nero's palace, this thing was absolutely massive. The building was about 1 kilometer long. Massive, right? And it was like, think of like the largest hotel you've ever thought of. That was Nero's, that was Nero's palace. And it's all underground here. There's entries into it. This was only found in like the 16 or 1700s, and what they found inside Nero's palace were these old frescoes, the paintings, and that pretty much kicked off the whatchamacallit, the what's it called? What was that? The big art thing that happened in those years, the Reformation, and all that kind of jazz. That's what kickstarted it, because they found all these colours that they just haven't seen, and like they've never seen it possible. So that's what kind of kicked it all off. The Renaissance, not the Reformation, the Renaissance. There you go. And there's some pictures here of Nero's palace. Fascinating stuff, lads, right? Nero's palace. Myself and the missus got to the Domus Aurea. Myself and the missus got to visit here. And as I said, you go underground and you do all the stuff, right? They give you the hats, and you can go in and explore it. I want to see, do we have proper pictures here? Domus Aurea. This is just mad, right? So you get an idea of the scale here, right? Where you have the amphitheatre, Flavian's amphitheatre, it was all in this area. All of this area was used, right? So I think we have some, there should be pictures of it. Plan of the pavilion. Like, to give you an idea of the scale, look. Like, ginormous. Massive. 3 or 4 times the size of, like, you know, the White House combined. And this is the stuff that they found inside. The golden vaults. The statue of Muse. Muse, you're famous. That's in it. And when you get into the Domus Aurea, you can actually still see the original artwork, the original paintings. Because Nero, as unpopular as he was, when they came in and they fleeced the place, and then they filled in the palace with clay. Buried it. This, you know, he was a bad devil, never to be spoken of again. And Nero got such bad rep, but to be honest, he shouldn't have. They did say he was the reason why there was a fire. But the story behind it was, after the massive fire of Rome, Nero cleared out he leveled half the city and rebuilt it all, right? These are some of the wall paintings inside the Domus Aurea. Like, it's and you can see those with your own eyes. It is spectacular, right? It also has an octagonal room inside, again with this dome, and this would have been like, you know, a meeting and greeting place for people who stayed there. There was over 100 rooms here, and the Sphinx Hall in there as well. And again, look, that's all that original painting. Isn't that incredible? Like, you're literally talking they were painted 2,000 years ago, and see how they filled in. They filled in the entire building, and it was forgotten about for bloody hell, 1,300 years, completely forgotten about, until a couple of, I think they were French explorers. They were just happened to be in Rome, and for whatever reason, they managed to break in through the ceiling because they said, hey, there's something down here, and then they got in. And when they got in, they found out all sorts of mad stuff. They were like, wait, what? There's a picture of it here that you'll see the original opening. The Domus Aura. That's what they reckoned how big it was back in the day. Look. Where's this now? Like this being like the highest level of Roman grandeur. That is the size of what they reckon it was. Look. I mean, lads, look. Massive. Ginormous. You know. And that wasn't just like the plan. That was there. I mean, that thing was there, right? The Romans filled it up themselves, Roy. The Romans did it. And then, oh yeah, this is cool. A virtual reality tour of Nero's palace. This should be, hang on, we'll have a look at this, right? This will give you an idea. Who's this from? Boom, right? Good man, Boom. Roman Emperors Nero's first century. Look at this, look. This is friggin' nuts, lads. This is what the place, you know, it's reconstructed, but this is what it would have looked like. Isn't it mad? There is a VR area in there. You can sit down and you can just see what the place looked like. It was built in 64 AD after fire swept through the city. So a lot of people said Nero planned that fire so he could build this ginormous palace. And in the lake, that lake, see where this colossal figure is standing? See this mad looking dude here? It's like a colossus. That was of Nero. That lake is now where the Colosseum stands. That is where the Colosseum is, because you can see this lake. Isn't it mad? Trajan filled in the palace, there you go, and he built his baths on top of it. Rediscovered in the 15th century. Did it have a ball? It had everything, man. It had everything. So I was looking up, that just opened, or it either opened that year we went, or it was due to open the year after we were there. But we were lucky enough to get in and get access to it and go for a walk around. It was absolutely deadly. It was just deadly. It was class. So Nero's palace, fascinating area. So that's all there, underground, you see, right? And then at the back of it, then you can kind of see some of the buildings. See, like the layout of the streets. Rome isn't kind of categorized by having straight streets. They're all windy and in a hoop. Every other Roman settlement had almost uniform layouts. Here's this road, this mixes onto this street, then you have a forum, then you have a this, then you have a that. Rome was kind of contrary to that organization, you know? So that's where Nero's palace is. And from here, then we're into the forum. And this is ancient Rome at its finest. And we have all the different ones. We've the Constantine had an arch there. There's quite a new arch, which is this one. Then we have another arch, and then, as I say, the one down the far right down here, that's the Arch of Titan. And you have the main forum in here. And I'm almost certain it was this building over here, like that was the Vestal Virgins. That was their mad place. This is all kind of Roman religious beliefs at the time. And then this one here, I'm almost certain either that one or that one is the Temple of Saturn, amongst other things, right? And then you come over, I think this is the Capitoline Hill. So you have the Capitoline, the Palatine, you have 7 hills in Rome, you know. And then we have some Romans consider this to be an eyesore, others love it. The Vittoria Emanuele, it's basically called the altar to the fatherland. That's what this is called. It's a huge landmark, but built in absolute controversy because, well, they buried so much putting this thing into play. And also what's pretty cool, around the corner from it, I don't think they show it here, as you walk around the corner, this area here, it's not shown right, there's about a 40 foot, well, yeah, there is about a 40-foot drop, and there's ancient Roman, what were they called? They're houses, effectively, skyscrapers, ancient skyscrapers that are all there. And if you ramble up with your back to the altar, This building here, this is a very famous building. You've probably seen it in black and white from World War II stuff. This is where Mussolini did all his mad speeches from. In that particular window. The one with the Italian flag. So that's where you'd have seen him giving it all the socks with his mad facial expressions and all this kind of jazz. That's that building, right? And then as we move across the road, you have a number of basilicas, tons of churches and galleries, and you have a lot of these columns. Columns are a big thing in Rome, and they'd usually mark, you know, a famous battle or a famous tribute to something. This area all here, this is all Trajan's Market. This building here, that was his addition to the Forum. He built Trajan's Market, which was a huge market area, massive. That's what the Emperor Trajan did. And they uncovered recently then Caesar's Forum, the Forum of Julius Caesar, and that was all over this neck of the woods. And a lot of it's still, I mean, there's archaeology going on here all the time. All the time. They're constantly looking at it. So that was Trajan's theatre. And up around the back here you have the Jewish quarter. And if we were to continue on this way, rambling up here, this kind of main street, if we follow this main street, well, we'll pass by some other very significant buildings. In particular, we're going to come up to where Pompey's forum was. Gnaeus Pompey Magnus, or Pompey the Great. His forum was just up here. You can see where the pillar is. And it was up this neck of the woods where Caesar was killed on the Ides of March. It was up this neck of the woods, you know. And if you continue on up here, again, like when you look at the buildings and the layout and what was the bang and all this kind of crack. As I said, Rome is fairly straightforward. It's easily to navigate, but there's just so much to see, you know. Like, it's absolutely incredible. Up at the main square here. And then we have the part of the original gates for the Imperial City. There was giant walls that wrapped around the whole city. So from there, if you come down this way, we'll stay close here. This area here, this is the mausoleum of Augustus. Now, Augustus, Octavian, Caesar Augustus was the first emperor of Rome, right? He was Julius Caesar's nephew. And Julius Caesar, who was the man, right? He was a dictator, but he was the man. He was at the transition between the Roman Republic and the Roman Empire. He expanded the lands of Rome unbelievably. He went off into Gaul, conquered pretty much all of France, good chunk of Germany, Belgium, all that crack. Even went across to England, Britannia at the time. So Caesar was a mad devil, but his nephew was Octavian, and he later became Rome's first emperor. This is all around the story of Mark Antony, who was Caesar's general and top aide. You often hear the story of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Well, they formed an alliance, amongst other things, and they fought against Octavian. Octavian won that fight, hence he came back to Rome. He had zero opposition, and the result was a Roman Empire and decades of peace. No war. All the fighting was stopped. So that's his mausoleum, and that was only uncovered a couple of years back. It's only open to the public now, I think, in the last 5 years. And then you have this building here, which is a temple of Augustus, and it's pretty cool. Virtue and all this kind of stuff. That's what that's all about, right? And then we have the Tiber, and we cross the Tiber, the river Tiber, and you have a number of buildings here, the Calzone or Calzionte and whatever else. We get down to here, and this building here, this is the Castel de Sant'Angelo. This here is the mausoleum of Hadrian. Hadrian is buried here, and you might have heard of Hadrian as in Hadrian's Wall. That's where he's buried. And this was it was a fortress, as you can see from the layout. This was a fortress, because later on in life, long before the Vatican was even a thing, I mean, it just wasn't a thing. Christianity didn't come in until, you know, hundreds of years after this crack went on. And then you would have had the conversion of the state religion of Rome which was Constantine II, on his deathbed said, yeah, we're now Christians, and that was the end of it. At that stage, Rome itself had fallen into great disrepair, and the new Rome, the new headquarters, the new centre of the Roman world actually moved up to Turkey, which was Constantinople, or modern day Istanbul. That's where they went to. But anyway, Castel de Sant'Angelo, that's where, as I said, where Hadrian is. But there's something pretty cool here as well. At the back, there is an aqueduct, right? And it's missing over here because it went off and away. But at the back of it, there's an aqueduct. And this aqueduct runs all the way up into the Vatican, right? All the way into the Vatican. And this, it was only uncovered, I think, in the 1960s, was it? This was actually used as an emergency escape for the Pope. If the Vatican was, and it came under attack numerous times, the idea was they had to get the Pope out, so the Pope would leg it, you know, through this aqueduct, completely hidden, unknown by anyone, because they didn't think he could do this. That was just carrying water, right? And he was able to escape and then be inside Castel de Sant'Angelo, which was just, you know, until friggin' gunpowder came along, this was the safest place you could possibly be. It just was. The walls are like meters thick. Kind of mad, isn't it? And then you have the Vatican. The Vatican is quite modern, but there is a lot of old ancient stuff up here. This was all leveled, you know, with the building of the basilica and everything else. So a lot of this area was leveled. And, you know, the Vatican, as old as it is it's quite new, right? And even at the back of the Vatican, so we all know the basilica here, right? And, you know, the famous Sistine Chapel is in here, right? That's it there. That's the Sistine Chapel, where you can go in and have a look at the paintings and the art galleries that's on display in the museum. It's absolutely incredible. They have a massive collection, huge collection. And then you have the Vatican vaults, which are world famous. They have scripts going back to Genghis Khan, and they just have mad stuff in there. Some of them are public, some of them aren't. But the Vatican archives are just, they're meant to be unbelievable. Inside the basilica, the church, it's like ridiculously massive. It's huge, and it's everything that you would expect to see. You know, loads of gold, yeah, tons of gold. The grounds, which are accessible, you can get access to the grounds, right? If you're doing a tour. They have lovely gardens, lovely viewing areas. And then, you know, there's certain areas that are closed off to the public. That's where the Pope and, you know, the Catholic Church lads to be hanging around. And if you look closely, there is actually a landing pad. It's a heli landing pad because they sometimes fly the Pope in and out of here. There is gardens. Trying to find the helipad. It's around here somewhere. But that's where you'll see if the Pope is flying from the Vatican out to his residence, which we visited earlier on, which is out by the other lake, right? So in some regards, the Catholic Church with Rome, I mean, they said that's what conquered the Romans. You know, how did the Romans die out? Well, they weren't. They were conquered. What conquered them? Well, Christianity, right? But a lot of what's in the Vatican, they managed to save. And if you think about kind of like the Middle Ages and all this kind of jazz, what would have been lost from not just, you know, the Germans coming in, as in, you know, the Goths and the Visigoths and all these lads having the crack, but also then the likes of the you know, the lads coming in from Persia, the Middle East, all this neck of the woods. So there was a lot of good by having these kept in the Vatican. But yeah, it's an interesting place. It's kind of weird. Like, as you walk down kind of Main Street Vatican, it's all, there's a border, right? There's literally a line, a border line. See what that line is right there? That's the border of the Vatican. On one side of it, it's like a lot of homeless people, folks are begging, and then you cross the line and then it's all grandeur and, you know, gold, and it's a weird kind of it's a weird setup, right? It's just, I found it weird. Beautiful architecture, though. Absolutely stunning. So if you ramble down from here, at the back of the Vatican, if you come down this neck of the woods, things start getting interesting again, because now you're coming to some of the other beautiful landmarks in Rome. And what I was saying to you, when we looked at the Circus Maximum, right, and when we look at some of the buildings, so if we come down here, this area here, this is called the Piazza Novana. The Piazza Novana is a plaza, right, and they have some beautiful fountains. Some of these fountains are still fed to this day from aqueducts, right, so from the original aqueducts. But can you tell me what this kind of looks like when you're looking down on it in terms of the shape? And this is where Rome gets very, very interesting. Since 17 or 759 or whatever it was, they've been constantly rebuilding it, keep going up and up and up and up. They level it and build new stuff. So think of the lines of a tree almost, because when you dig down something you dig into the ground in Rome, so you're going to find stuff from like a couple of hundred years before that. You know what I mean? In a box, man, good to see it. So this used to be an not an amphitheater. This used to be a whatchamacallit, a chariot circus, right? And the buildings that are on it now, including that massive church, these are actually built on the original foundations of where the stands used to be, where people would sit and look at all these races. Isn't that mad? And you'll see this time and time again in Rome. When you're walking around some of the buildings, you'll say to yourself, Jesus, why is that building so kind of curved? You know, why do they build it like a curved building? And we'll find a few more examples in a moment. It's where there used to be other stuff hundreds of years beforehand. For example, if you have a look here. So see the way at the back of this, see this curve of the building, right? They're built on old foundations. And what you'd find is, well, there would have been an amphitheater here. Like the small little theaters. That's where they get all these shapes from. They just built them on the original foundations, which is class. So the Piazza Novana, that's just a beautiful square to go walking around in. There's lovely restaurants and stuff around it. And it's just nice to sit out in. As we come down the way, if you cut across this building here, one of the most famous in Rome, this is the Pantheon. And the Pantheon was built as a temple of the gods. That was the idea, right? Apart from anyone else was buried in here, the tomb of, is it Raphael? I think it's Raphael is in there. And you know, this is studied quite a bit with folks learning kind of architecture and stuff in college. And the reason being is, so the building, right? It's a dome building, and then they have this front with all these pillars and columns. But if you look at it, just say, what happened here? Why isn't the roof in line with like kind of the front? Now, in reality, this is actually a rebuilt version of the Pantheon. It was rebuilt. Big fire in Rome destroyed the whole place. So what we're looking at now, yes, it is about 2,000 years old. It says here on the front, this is Latin, right? It says M Agrippa LF concert or concertee, and then numbers, and then facet. Basically what this means is Marcus Agrippa, consul for the second time, built this. That's what it says. So anyone ever asking a pub quiz, you know, you can sound like you're very intelligent. Marcus Agrippa, consul of the second term, built this. Now, Marcus Agrippa was great mates with Octavian as kids, and then when Octavian became the emperor, he had Marcus Agrippa, who was his military aide. He was his military advisor throughout the civil wars and all the other wars. He made him consul. Pretty cool, right? So Marcus Agrippa built this, and it was a real kind of Roman. It's funny, right, Linny? So you're saying it's like Marcus Agrippa was here. It's very funny how ancient Romans, communicate to us. If you look at some of their tombs or headstones, a lot of them are this kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's not really sarcasm, but they're very matter of fact. It's like, you know, here lies, you know, I don't know, Brutii. He was a baker, and like his tomb could be in the shape of an oven, and it'll say, get it? That's how they used to speak. Romans would always say, this is who I am, this is my father, and this is what I did. Romans were fixated on what they did. That's how they could be defined as a person. What did you do? I was a freed slave, or I was a fisherman, or I was whatever, right? That was the story they wanted to tell. And that's just what the Romans did. Pretty cool, right? So that there, the largest dome, this is all concrete, and that's what makes this thing absolutely friggin' mad, right? It was the largest dome. I still think it's the largest dome. You know. Which, we Italians need a lot of attention since Heisenberg. Well, it's funny, right? Because, you know, as I said, I've been here many times, and like when I chat with the locals, they're Roman first, Italian second. Italy, the area, the continent of where Italy is sitting on in Europe, but like the layout of the country, it didn't become Italy till way later on. The Italian states, then you had the Republic of Italy and so on, and then the kingdom. But the Italian states, Rome or Romans, they're Roman first. It just so happens that they live inside the country of Italy, but they're Roman. It's funny how that's just the way they go on. They're very proud people, lovely people. Again, you can kind of see it here by some of the layout of the buildings. You'd say, Jesus, why did they build it in such a way? Again, these are all built on ancient foundations, do you know? And you'll see this time and time again. And where the river is, where the Tiber is, that's the old nunnery and convent, and there used to be a hospital in here as well. And as we kind of ramble out from where the mainstay is, the ancient, experience ancient Rome, is definitely the Forum, it's definitely the Colosseum, right? And it's the Circus Maximus. But again, hidden away in direct view is Nero's palace, which is underground. As you ramble over this way, this is, I think that's the United Nations food something headquarters, something to do with food. But if we were to come up this road, there is something fantastic. Up this road, where you pass by the soccer grounds, this area here, these are called the Baths of Caracalla. Another Roman emperor, and that's his contribution, what they build. That's what the emperors used to do. They'd engage in these massive public works. They'd want to build monuments. They'd want to build something for the people. You often hear that saying, bread and circus. That would keep the plebs happy. A happy citizen is a safe citizen. An unhappy citizen, well, that's a dangerous citizen. So they'd always have these public baths. They'd have games in the Colosseum, loads of food. The ancient equivalent of social welfare. That was all there. They used to give grain and all this kind of stuff. And then you kind of get some weird stuff. Romans, just like anyone else, they had a fascination with the Egyptians, and there are obelisks and also a pyramid just outside the city gates in Rome as well. And that pyramid is indeed a tomb, and you can see there by the original city gates, there's a pyramid in Rome. So you can actually go to Rome to look at a pyramid. It's mad, isn't it? And then all the way around the place, you've all different villas, you've different villas, you've different, as I say, they're the baths, and like you'll see where the aqueduct is feeding this guy. There's an aqueduct going up the back here, I think. Because you can imagine just how much water these things needed. They had underground heating. But sure, that was caused by, slave labour and all this kind of jazz. There's an aqueduct here, look. See it?
Hello there.
So that's the aqueduct that used to feed the Baths of Caracalla. And that aqueduct goes on for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. That one goes about 40 kilometres. Hello, Benny, good to see you. Trajan's column, also very interesting. Yeah. It's just cool. It's absolutely brilliant to explore Rome. Like there's the original the gates, right? And all these areas in here, when you just realize, like, if you ever get the chance to go to Rome, lads, highly recommend it. It's a great city. If you're into your history, it's amazing. But it's also a great European city just to hang around, have the crack. Great pubs and restaurants, great shopping, plenty of sport in the area as well. Rome's a great city. It's my favourite city. I love it. Absolutely love it. And then, not far, if we go back out the road here a bit, there's the Tremblay train station. But if you come on out the road here a bit, it gets fascinating. That's at the back of the railway. So you can see the aqueduct there. There's another aqueduct. There's tons of aqueducts feeding Rome. Tons of them, right? But there was an area out the road where you kind of had this Roman version, or sorry, the Italian version of Hollywood. Basically, Mussolini built this place to do all these movies, and it was a standalone recording studio. If anyone watched the HBO Rome, remember Rome? Well, there's a reason why they only got 2 seasons, because they fell out with the Italians. There was all sorts of jiggery-pokery going on with the Italian lads there, because they wanted more money, or production times were going astray, or the staff were striking. There was a bit of messing going on there. And because of that, HBO said, do you know what? We're fine, thanks. And they pulled the project. And that's why, because Rome, the series, the HBO series of Rome, that was to run for 5 seasons, I think. They only got 2 out of it. And that's why the second season felt so rushed, because they fell out with the Italians. Or the Italians fell out with them. There was a falling out anyway. And it was at that big area that El Duce built for them. Do you know? At the cost of millions. But it's still there to this day. It's still there. Is that it? It's still there to this day. I don't know where it is. It's at the road somewhere. Unknown 2K, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Imagine the engineering and getting a continual downward slope in an aqueduct. Yeah. Like, incredible. Roman engineering was just incredible. Again, we're looking back onto the aqueduct. This is down by the Appian Way here, I think. This neck of the woods. And like, you can rent mopeds or, you know, a bicycle, or just walk it. You can walk the Appian Way. But it's stunning. And all alongside the Appian Way, you have, there's a number of tombs, burial grounds, and just massive monuments. You know, some of them are mad. But to see Rome now, it's easy enough trace back to what it would have looked like then. And that's what I love about the place. I think it's absolutely friggin' deadly. Do you know? It is deadly. It's absolutely class. Right. So that's enough of that. We're going to ramble back. As my chopper's screaming at me. Oh, Jesus. There we go. And we're going to head back to the airport. Is it now? At around RPM. Get up the road here now. Thanks very much. Okay, so we're back here at the Circus Maximus, and we're going to ramble up now. We're going to ramble back up to the airport. Looking good, lads. Looking good. Alright. You up the hill. On the anti-torque. Easy. That's where the UN building is. That's the back of the Forum, so that's the old Imperial Palace. They were all like, apartments and stuff. There's the Colosseum. And then we'll ramble up this way. Lovely! So get a bit of speed up. And we'll start heading back. We'll pick up the aqueduct, and we'll start heading back out towards the airport. But yeah, it's class, lads. You just have to go. It's deadly. And even flying in flight sim to get here. Fly your airliner in, take a chopper or fixed wing, and just go exploring. It's absolutely brilliant. Do you know? Absolutely deadly. As you ramble across here. Easy now. I'm sure because it's Thursday, we'll nearly have to play a bit of tunage, wouldn't we? What might work here? This works. I like this song. Stuck in my head. Dougal, just after installing and testing his second new AMD GPU, the first one got returned as faulty. Fingers crossed. Dougal, fingers, arms, ears, toes. The whole lot is crossed. Best of luck with it, buddy. Look at the state of this place. Here's the aqueduct. So far, so good. Nice. What a city, man. What a city. All right. So what we're going to do next, we're going to be checking out our VATSIM flight for this evening as we fly out of Scandinavia. So we'll be loading everything in, checking all our connections, checking the aircraft, getting our hardware set up. We're going to do all that now. We're going to do a briefing of this flight tonight. It's a very challenging one tonight. We're going to Brønnøysund, I think it's pronounced, and Stockholm up to Brønnøysund, and it's a very short runway, so we need to see what the crack is. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed our heli flying today with OnAir, and then just a bit of an owl tour. As you could have imagined, I love Rome. I love this city. Need to get back to it soon, lads, soon. But we'll come back here into Ciampino, and we're going to start looking at our flight then for this evening, our VATSIM flight. The helicopter we're using today, this is from Taog's Hangar. It is that of the Hughes 500C, an absolute machine. Isn't it deadly? It's a great bit of kit. Easy now. So we're going to touch base just over here on our right hand side. Get some Toby working with us here to make life a little bit easier. And we want to turn and face the wind. So we're directly over that VOR station. That's what that is, lads. You often hear the name VOR. That's what a VOR station looks like. You can see all the different radials it transmits on. So directly over the VOR, we want to face the wind as we come in here, and we'll set her down over by the over by the military side of the fence. Got a couple of Falcons parked up here from the Italian government. We'll see what happens. Mr. Rickles, thank you for the follow. Welcome in, buddy. All right, easy now, easy now. As we try and set this one down without creating a bit of an issue. Again, just watching that wind just makes life a little bit easier. Choppers don't really need to worry about wind direction at runways and all this sort of jazz, but always try and land and take off facing the wind. Otherwise, your brain is just going to overload on trying to figure out what it is you're trying to do. You know what I mean? A bit of oomph there. Right! That straightened us out altogether. And there we have it. Man, what a gorgeous flight. Absolutely class. And we got so many different choppers with us today as well. I mean, this has been brilliant. And some fixed wing as well. Absolutely class. Deadly, isn't it? It's deadly. Here's Big Al coming in. Speedy's down. And we got some more choppers around the area. That's awesome, lads. Great to see. Storm in the Big Chinook. We got Airwolf and Starbug in the UH-60s, or the MH-60s. That's pretty cool. Right, lads, excellent stuff. Let us now start planning for this evening's flight. I'm going to restart the sim while we're here as well. I'm going to get some hardware set up. So multiple things to do, and this is all going to be great gas all together. So what am I to do? To move things around, as we get everything set up. So let's have a look here. Community folder's okay. That's me head tracking. Now, what I want to do, we want to have a look at our plan for this evening, right? So let me see. We're finished with this stuff. And if I go here to our group flight, we'll go ahead and get this guy open first. Let's see now. I'll do one of those, do one of these. All right, so this is our flight for this evening. So we're going to be flying out of Stockholm and we're heading over to Brønnøysund. Brønnøysund? I think that's what it is, right? It's a Belgian pilot. Good to see you, buddy. You're very welcome aboard. So this airport sits on the stunning Norwegian sea coast, 65 degrees north, serving as a gateway to the dramatic landscapes of Nordland County, where fjords meet the North Sea. Our approach will treat us to some breathtaking views of countless islands, skerries, and also the famous Torghatten Mountain with its distinctive natural hole punched through its centre. The airport features a single 11 or 1200 metre runway that challenges pilots when it's relatively short. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. The surrounding mountains, terrain, and coastal weather patterns demand careful attention to wind and also low visibility procedures. Now, we're going to miss out if we're flying this one at night time, I think. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm going to load in the sim. I don't have scenery for our destination airport. I'm going to see is it needed. So we'll check out the free one. So before we do that, well, I need to get some stuff up and running. So hang on. Right, grab all my wind control stuff. And we'll come over here while we do it, right? Jesus, that hit me telly. Do you remember I was telling you that I fixed that microphone? Turn on that light here now as well. So what I have here, it's all our wind control gear. So we're using the Ursa Minor for our side stick, left-handed side stick. That's where it gets terribly interesting, right? And I use these little shelves. I got these shelves from Amazon, and they're deadly because they clamp on to my desk. You see, and this is how we utilize the stuff. So this guy lives in here, look. Right? He just mounts in here, so we'll go ahead and tighten this guy up. ENBY would be a perfect for a flight with the Avro RJ, says Viper. Ooh, the Avro RJ. That'd be interesting. So there's a bit of hardware set up here, but like we're all in the same boat now, right? I mean, I think the wind control stuff, it can be very kind of plug and play in a way you go with it. Other ones are a little bit more awkward. You kind of have to set them up and, you know, do all this kind of messing. But we'll get our joystick in play first. Then we got the throttle system, and we also have the MCP as well that have the EFA stuff. So as weird as this camera angle looks, I'm just tightening the clamp so this guy doesn't move when we mount everything onto it. So let me see. We have wires and cables and all the devil knows what. They'll go down and drop. And if I do this right, this guy should just sit perfectly about there. And I'm using Velcro. That's the idea. So it shouldn't move. Not deadly, isn't it? So that's the first little trick of the jigsaw done. Next, I always forget about this guy. So this is the, well, you've seen these. This is the wind control MCP, and we got our two EFIS panels logged in there as well. So it's basically our autopilot, our panel of autopilot. So it's for the Airbus because we're taking the Phoenix with us today. So don't need you. And bring our keyboard down, plug it into some power. Hear a beep. There's a beep. And we'll go ahead and set him up just in there. Right, next up, I need another shelf. And this one's over here. Oh, Jesus, don't break. There's another one of these. So you get the idea, look. They mount onto your desk using this guy, right? And then it gives you just a shelf. And there's little, like, release arms in this as well. So it means when you're finished, it can literally fold down out of the way. You get them on Amazon, like $20, $30. So, we'll be putting this guy up now in a moment. And we also need this guy. So by the time I have it all set up, it's time to do something else. Hang on now. Let's make sure we don't want to pinch any wires. So this guy needs to go in there. Just tighten him in. Go. Where's this now? You want that? We'll tighten this in. Yep. And then, oof. Just to make sure it doesn't fall off. You know what I mean? And they're just clamps. That's rock solid. Then we get our throttle. Oh. This is the wind control throttle, and we also have our speed brake and flaps here then as well. So this is what we're using. So again, it's a bit of cable tidying. That's the only kind of stuff we have to start off with. And we should be able to get this guy mounted. Perfecto. And then this guy is our MCDU. And this cover, give away to this cover in a deadly remove before, and not brilliant, isn't it? So, Jesus, we have some dust. Let us clean the dust. Now that looks all prim and proper. And then we'll drop this guy in. He lives there. Drop the USB down. And he lives somewhere over there. Right. That's the first bit done. The second bit done now, I need to start wiring all these in. So we'll come back over here. Me hand. We'll come over here and get ourselves situated. So first and foremost, me throttle, and I've little connections. I've little USB connections under my desk. That's how all this stuff works. So it's a little USB hub. So there's the throttle. Boop. And here is my MCDU. We'll hear another doop. If you can find the shagging thing. There it is. Boop. And then the last bit of the jigsaw is our joystick. And that goes under the desk as well. They're held in with Velcro, which is dead handy because it means you can take things off without like gluing or mounting and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Now, this guy is to live up here. Go. All the beeps. Or if you're like those musicians that take so long to set up, by the time they're ready to go, it's finished. Yeah, 100%. Right, that's everything turned on. We're going to open up SimApp Pro just to make sure everything's doing what it needs to do. So, quick check. We have our throttle, we have our joystick, we have our MCDU, and we have our MCP. So that's our hardware that we're going to be using for this evening, right? So let's not worry about that. Make sure that this is set to the single, it's called a shaft thingy, single shaft. Get in there. Single stroke, double shaft. It's weird what the names are, but that's what you need, right? So we'll refire up the sim. And while we're waiting, this is where we want to do our briefing for this evening's flight. So where's that group flight thingy gone? Here we go. So a couple of things we're going to do. We're going to go to, we can open this in sim brief. And we're also going to have a look at Vent U Sky. And we'll also open up the VATSIM radar to get an idea of what we're doing tonight, right? Now, our flight tonight, you can fly this on VATSIM, or you can use, say, Intentions, or both. I might do a little bit of both this evening, depending on what our ATC coverage is going to be. But yeah, we're going to be taking off out of Stockholm, and then we're heading up the road. I think it's up this neck of the woods. So let's have a look at SimBrief. Firefly 235, that's us. And we're going to be flying in the A320, and she is the IAE variant. A320 in wrong button, Murph. A320 200, not the N. Right, so Phoenix, she is at the IAE, I think. So we'll load that in there. So our routing is Stockholm, and we're heading all the way up to the top here. So before we go ahead and run all that, well, let's have a look at what the weather's doing, because we're using real world weather, right? So if we have a look, here's Stockholm, and our destination is up the road here. There's Trondheim. We're up here somewhere. Mo Rana, no. Bodo. Is it near Bodo? Yeah, no, she's further up. Jesus, it's up a nice shock, isn't it? She's up here somewhere. There's Trondheim. Nasmos. Brønnøysund. There we go. Okay, so temperature on the ground right now it's 8 degrees. By the time we get up here this evening, it's going to be 6 degrees. So this is kind of cool. We mightn't have much snow up here, right? Just use the ICAO in the search location. With Venture Sky Iceberg, can you do that? I didn't know you could do that. Okay, so that's the temperature, so not too bad. Wind, let's have a look here. The wind is blowing up from the south. You can even put in departure and in Venture Sky. and see the whole path. Iceberg, are we still talking about Venture Sky though, yeah? ESSA. I don't think it works in this. Not with Venture Sky. Oh, you're thinking windy.com. Yeah. Windy.com, you can do it. Right, so the wind is going to be coming in from the south, 8 to 10 knots. Any gusts? Gusting 15. So there's a bit of wind there tonight, but it's all southerly, right? We'll come back down the road and have a look at Stockholm. So when we're departing this evening at around 8 o'clock, winds also coming in from the south, 8 to 10 knots. And the wind gusts... Sorry, wind is going to be 3 knots from the south, gusting 10. Right, that's fine. Cruise wind speed, that's probably a little bit too high. Come up here. So, yeah, we have a headwind for the whole night, right? We're looking at around 45 to 50 knot headwind for this flight. So we're going to be battling against the elements, right? And then the last thing we want to look at is, well, is there any precip? So rain or snow, effectively. So we should be dry in Stockholm. There's a bit of stuff going on up here, right? Bit of rain, bit of snow, but a bit of rain when we're landing. So we want to watch that. And then our cloud coverage. So it's going to be quite nice around Stockholm. Just a couple of clouds, nothing to worry about. And then as we move further north, we could be lucky. There's definitely a front there. It seems to be moving north. So as the evening gets on, that cloud seems to be breaking off to the north. So we could be lucky. Pyrotech, good to see you. Godzilla, the joys of flight sim hardware, right? 7.3 looks great in the FFA retro livery. Who painted it? Cyrus did that one, Dougal. Cyrus did that. Yeah, it's great. All right. Happy enough with the weather. Relatively calm southerly winds getting us in. We might get a bit of rain into Brønnøysund. We might. We may not. All right. Having a quick look. So is there ATC online at the moment? There is not. So let's go with. There's not. So we'll go in here and have a look. That's what our flight plan is going to be. SimBrief is giving us 19er right and then 21 arrivals. We'll go with that. And let's generate this flight and we'll have a look. So let it generate away. Block time is going to be about 1 hour and 45 in the sky. Notice SID is invalid for runway 19er. Okay, so we might have to pick a new departure, is it? Arrival runway may be inadequate for landing. Yes. Notice departure. The Koga 5 Charlie is invalid for 19 right. Okay. I wonder is it going to be runway 26 then they're doing. One niner or 26. We'll go 19er. We'll have a look at Navigraph here now in a moment. We might have to change our departure. But we'll see what happens. Right, into the sim. Lovely. And we're going to go into free flight. We're going to pick our A320. We'll take our air balloon out on VATSIM for the crack, will we? A320 IAEs. I think that's the ticket right there. We'll load this guy in and we'll go. This is a handcrafted airport, if I'm not mistaken. Arlanda, right? So there is a wild Dougal McTavish. We'll park up here beside Dougal. Dougal looks to be on 17. We'll jump over to 16. Have a look from here, right? Live weather. That's all good. Good luck getting the 320 into destination airport. We'll have a look. Like, if it's a case that we can't, we could possibly look at the 319, right? But yeah, we'll have a look when all this loads in. Let us see. Let us see. So Phoenix doing Phoenix things. Ready to fly. We'll jump in. And well, welcome to the flight deck. Sweet. Okay, we're looking good. We're looking good. And we are looking good. Okay, this looks to be good now. So let's see, can we bring in our flight? Import while we're waiting. Up on top, we're going to go batteries 1 and 2. External, ground, crew, emergency lights, no smoking. Go ahead and get our wing and nav lights on. All right, good start there. Good start there. And we're just waiting for our equipment to power up. So, do we have a working MCDU? Yes, we have. Do we have a working MCP when it finishes doing all its flashing? Let's go altitude. Yes, that's working. Double check our stick. That's working. And our throttles. We're looking good. Spoiler. Flaps. Parking brake is set. Engine switches and ignition. Grand. All our controls are working. That should do us. Smoke. That's okay. Leave all that alone for a minute. Okay, so looking at the airport, this is a default handcrafted airport. Looks okay-ish, doesn't it? Don't see any issue here. Stockholm, Ireland. That'll do. We do have good taxiways. I don't see any problems with the runway layout. No mad bumps or bruises or any of that jazz. Okay, sweet. Next test then is going to be fire up VATSIM. Let me see here now. We're going to go to ATC. We're going to go V-Pilot. I'm going to do the same. Over by yonder. Mr. Scout, thank you very much indeed for the Prime subscription. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. Hope you're well. And we're just going to fire up some VATSIM here now and check our radios. So, remote control is connected. We're connected. Oh, there's no CTAF. It's only it's Unicom, isn't it? Would that be right? Okay. Radio 1228. John Cedrus, good to see you, John. Arlanda, is it? Arlanda traffic, Firefly 235 radio check. Oh, no buttons. We'll try this one. Firefly 235 radio check.
There you go, 555.
555 also. Thank you. Right, okay.
555.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Right, brilliant. We've sounds and we are connected to the network and we can see ourselves on the network. And we should be able to see other aircraft now as well. Stephen Bond, good to see you, Stephen. There's a wild Dougal McTavish in a boat. Right now. Is that Dougal? Dougal, you in a Boeing? You're in the 736. Ew. Are you in the retro livery? Yeah, I don't know why the retro livery isn't coming up. I don't think that was added to the VMR file yet. We need to do that. I say we. I need someone who knows how to do that to do that. You know what I mean? We've got a couple of aircraft over here as well. Nice, okay. Alright, good stuff. Southwest Airlines have unveiled Independence 1, a specialised red, white and blue 737 MAX 8 livery to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. Ooh, nice. The plane features a large 1776 in quill script. Oh, that's awesome, buddy. We need some more clever. Clever? We need someone clever. Yes. More clever. Not even more clever. We just need someone clever, you know. The SAS 73-7 is you. Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. Did a flight yesterday flying an A320 from Seychelles to Reunion Island. And then you did another one, which was last week, flying South African A330 from Cape Town to Mauritius. John, that's awesome, buddy. That's awesome. SAS, yeah, sassy. Sassy. Right. Well, that's good. It works. Now, our departure's not happy with us, so we'll have to go in and have a look at this. Goosh. Right, let us unload that. That's from the other night. Why are the chart? I've never changed something with the charts. Why is that so big? Oh, there we go. Never mind. Import the flight from SimBrief. Thank you very much. Now, it's not like in our star. Or, sorry, it's not like in our... It says 19 right isn't used. MP Troll, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the raid. Happy Thursday. Good to see you. And thank you very much indeed for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. You're welcome in. It says 19 right is not used. We can use the 01s. Like, it's not terribly windy. What do you reckon, Dougal? Why does it say it's not used? What are they using in the real world? Flight radar. Over the flight radar. Log in. Log in with Apple, I suppose. Bum bum bum. Two-factor authentication. Hello. You can imagine now, my security lads, this is up there now, which you know. But yeah. You had a great stream, nice. Now it uses say intentions for that, says FD. What? What does it use for say intentions? Oh, when you say slop, what do you mean by slop? You're not like say intentions, no? When are we getting back to Eastall? We need to go to Eastall soon, yeah. For the not used departure or arrival. It looks like 01 left for departures. Yeah, we have a look. Oh Jesus. Right, hide you there for a minute. Right, up the hill. They're using 01s. I think we'll use the 01, Dougal. We'll go to 01. I don't use it, but the automatic ATIS that Navigraph picks up has been wrong multiple times. Sure, but you tell Navigraph what source you're listening to. So right now, the sources are either real, they're either IVAO, Pilot Edge, VATSIM, or say intentions. You prioritize which one you want, or you can deselect any of them. I'm hiding it from... Watch me head, look. Do you see there behind it, look? So if you're having an issue FD, see the sources, you can just lock them in to only use real world, right? But if someone's giving you kind of weird data, you can turn them off. Do you know? And then you can tell the sim, listen, prioritize with this one. So these are all the sources I'm feeding you, but you can prioritize one of them. You know what I mean? Because I have to say, like last week, wasn't last week, was it? It was the week before. Week before out with Frankfurt. I couldn't get out. We just couldn't get out. And I ended up using say intentions for the flight, and I was very happy with it. They absolutely nailed it. They nailed it. Right, so 01 left. We're going to change that. Yes. And we'll look at our departures here now. So let's have a look. It's the Koga 4 Bravo. Where's that going to bring me to? Koga 4 Bravo. Oh yeah, there you go. Add him. Right, that looks a bit better now. So it's going to be... did I pick the wrong one? Yeah, 01 left, you muppet. Left, Murphy. There we go. And we'll jump back onto the Koga 5 Charlie. There we go. So departing is 01 left. Maybe. I mean, ATC could tell us otherwise. And then you prioritize VATSIM. What did I put in? I think I've prioritized VATSIM. Yeah, same with me, Doug. Same with me. So we're going to take off, and then it's up, out, and away we go. Now, map. Satellite. No, Jesus, Dougal, give out to me. World map. I prefer it when it goes darker. There we go. Right, out the gap, and then we ramble in, and then we have our arrival. So flights, I have no arrival, but we do have an approach. Now we're expecting to land on a teeny tiny runway. Is it runway 21? Ah, Jesus, look at the size of it. We're going to be in bother. Do we have an ILS for 21? No. No, we don't. We have a VOR. Whose idea was it to fly up here? There's not even a friggin' ILS. Runway 3. Other approaches. Runway 3. I don't want runway 3. Or do I want runway 21? It's runway 21, so we're flying against the wind. It's a southerly wind, so we're going to need this. How will this work out? That's a weird looking transition. What is an RNAV? There's an RNAV. Your PC is full of awful mix of pollen and dust. The pollen makes it stick to everything and it's sticky. Who said live in the country? Jesus. Gav, 100%. That was awesome. Yeah, no worries, FD. Glad you got it sorted, buddy. Right. Let's have a look here now. Wolf is here. Good to see you, Wolf. I'm just trying to think, is this going to be right? Like, we can vector ourselves up here, right? We'll add it to the route for the crack. What's VOR Charlie looking like? I'd rather the RNAV, because if it's low vis, we're laughing. I mean, it doesn't connect with runway 21. Right, we'll leave it sit there for a minute, so we'll figure this one out when we get up there. What do you reckon? I think I'll fly this one tonight, but offline. Next year, I'll get on VATSIM. Wolf, 100%, buddy. Don't be afraid of it, man. We'll help you out. We'll help you out. Like, if you want to go flying on VATSIM and you need a bit of help, bit of kind of tutorage and all that, more than happy to do it to get you flying. In the meantime, I'd recommend practicing with say intentions. Right, departure's fairly straightforward. Let us look at the departure. Is there any rules? That's grand. The SIDS require minimum climb gradients. Fine. As we take off, speed restriction above 2,100 feet. Swing around to the right, and then good luck, and we're away. It should be fairly straightforward, right? When do you push the button for approach on your autopilot? When you're within range of your localizer or your initial approach fix, you could do it. You can arm approach, and then it'll take over once it gets to the localizer. This is going to be a bit of crack though this evening, because there are no instrument rating stuff to do up here, which is a little bit worrying because it's all runway 3. Look, let's look at the airport. Is there any rules around this? The runway is grooved. Activate airport lighting on 119 or 605. Okay. Length 300 meters? That's not right. 300 meters? $4,718 feet. Is that right? Elevation is 26 feet. So we're just shy of 5,000 feet runway, so we're laughing. That's loads, lads. Loads. Circling lights. Circling lights based on 110 knots with a 25-degree bank. Overfly the lights on the downwind. Keep the lights on base. Do those lights exist in the sim? Because that's how we're going to do our turn circle to land. You know what I mean? I doubt they work in the sim. Well, balls. All right. Okay, good news is everything's grand in Stockholm. Let us now go up to the other mad place. This is going to be hilarious. Jesus. Whose idea does it be for these? This is Rambog's idea, wasn't it? Be naughty. Yeah, bet naughty's laughing his ass off. You can be sure of it. And look, it's not great weather up here, look. That's Bodo. Is that it? Yeah. Jesus, we're absolutely socked in with weather, look. This is a teeny tiny airport. Whose idea was this? 110 knots on an Airbus. We'd be grand. It'll be fine. It won't be fine. This is a stupid idea. Oh, Jesus. Now, do we actually need pay-wear scenery for here? I mean, I don't know. The default one, I mean, meh, right? Teeny tiny. Right, that's up. Jesus. Not the most level runway in the world. Couple of bumps. Oh, bloody hell. So this is not ideal at all, ladies and gentlemen. So 2-1 is what we want, right? Yeah. What do you reckon? Who picked the airport? Rambog. Like, there's even a freaking display. Like, look at all that. That's where you want to be touching down, not here. So it'll be... Jesus, crunch. Look at the runway, man. It's up and down like a... It's up and down. It's... Yeah. And the gas thing is, we need to be stopped and ready to vacate by the time we get over to here. This is a tiny little airport. I'm thinking an A320 is just going to be a little bit on the big side, isn't it? I wonder, should I be choosing a different airplane, lads? It's a Dash 8 field if ever I saw one. Oh, Jesus, then. I don't know, lads. I don't know. Could take the Challenger in X-Plane. I think we're going to be grand. I mean, it'll be grand, won't it? 737, yeah, an MT320 would be okay. I think we're going to be grand. My biggest worry is going to be the instrument approach, because there's no ILS here. Whose idea was that? There is no ILS here. We'll figure it out, right? I think the scenery is fine. You can buy one, but like it's whatever, 15 or 20 quid. I don't think it's going to make all that difference. You know what I mean? We need some divert experience, right? Yeah. Yeah. What could go wrong? Yeah. Well, a lot of things could go wrong. My watch is hopping at me. Right. I'm thinking we'll just fly the A320 and wing it. And sure, listen, are we flying at daytime or nighttime? What's it looking like at nighttime? Do we have those lights that help us circle to land? I doubt it. Yeah, no, it gets proper dark up here, look. Not for terribly long, mind you. Look, she's bright again at 3 in the morning. But when we're flying, it's proper friggin' nighttime, look. At around 10 o'clock tonight, this is what the place is going to look like. And I don't see those lights that circle us to land. Ah, Jesus. Be better landing at night. Yeah. What was that? Weather shifts. I'm taking the A320. The scenery doesn't have a longer runway. Balls, really. No, I'm going to go with the A320. We might as well for the crack. Yeah. And if it all goes terribly wrong, I'll just delete the video. It's just, you know, it's, oh yes, didn't go to plan. Like, looking at the runway, I mean, like, we haven't a lot of scope here. I mean, we're not allowed to touch down here. It's from the green. Grand. I doubt there'll be ATC anyway. There might be with say intentions. Like, if we don't have VATSIM, I'll use say intentions, you know. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be stupid. Brilliant. Give your passengers the money worth. Yeah. All 6 of them, you know. Tamal, good to see you. It's Brønnøysund is the name of it. Echo November, Bravo November. Pretty nice looking. It's in the middle of nowhere. This is going to be an interesting flight. So from Stockholm up to here. You know, I suppose we're in Norway, are we? Yeah, we are. Yeah. Sweden to Norway. All goes wrong and Rambog will be marked. Yeah, he will. Yeah. I wonder, is he even flying it tonight? Yeah, probably not, do you know? Probably not. Right, exciting. Lads, we're going to leave it there, but we will be back this evening at 1900 Zulu time to do this flight. We have an idea of the weather, the procedures, they're very light. Hardware's working, that's a good sign. We're able to connect to the network, and we don't have an instrument approach into here at all tonight. It's going to be absolute mess. So that's the style of flying I like. So, oh jeez, I need to... That's the second time I've cut myself. I need to do something with that. But right, we're back in a few hours. Thank you all so very much indeed for joining us. Byron, we're just about finished, but we will be back in a few hours at 1900 Zulu. Massive shout out as well to all the raids that we got. And lads, if you're still here, thank you very much. Great to see you. We're back tonight at 1900. Our takeoff and flight will be hopefully normal. At around 10 o'clock tonight, this is where this thing is going to get absolutely silly. Silly. But we'll give it a shot. Right. Wish me luck, and we'll see you in a few hours. Until then, have a great day.
Shit. Oh, okay.
Oh, balls. Thomas, you big scuttle in Egypt. Oh, Jesus, there he is! I don't know! Oh, I take it all back. Did you just see me scream? Oh, no! That wasn't nice at all. No! Think about it now, right? I'll sing it for you. Everybody's looking at my tight pants. He's got his tight pants. He's got his tight pants on. I'm actually not wearing tight pants at all. No, they're loosey-gooseys. Do you know, they're the in-house joggings or yoggings. I think it's a soft J. They're the in-house yoggings. Oh, bother. We need more speed. This isn't dangerous at all. 110, 120. Mixture in. The mixture's in. Come on. She doesn't want to play. She nearly got there. Hang on now. Easy. There she goes. Jesus. If it didn't kick off, lads, I would have died immediately.